both of you showing up your goddamn chairs.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. Next time I won't go so easy.
Oh, you were going easy.
Okay, first of all. But anyway, alright, let's get this underway. Alright, so this will be Ollie, the 15th episode of the ESOU podcast. This time with a special guest featuring Lulu, or just Lulu as he's called. He is an endgame raider and score pusher, world record holder of as well of quite a few trials at this point. Are you the raid lead of Stress Tested? Or
raid lead? No.
Valenza
is Valenza's GM. Yeah.
Okay, and part of the Stress Tested raid team on PC Europe. All right, well, why don't you tell us about yourself and introduce yourself to people who may not know you?
Yeah, so, I mean, you cover most of it, so I'm a DD raiding in Stress Tested's group on PCEU who pushes for world record scores. Before that, I originally was on console, so I came from Xbox EU in Elsewhere PTS, and I joined Symbolic at the start, and then I was in Hodor for a bit before they disbanded. I don't know what else. Much else there is to say. I'm part of like. There's always been like pug groups on PCEU. So like Brad's Brides is one of them. Like always doing like AA and like some Craglawns and Asylum score pushing as well. So yeah.
Okay. Man, I haven't heard that name in a while. Symbolic. That's an old one.
It was a so actually Stress Tested was originally part of Symbolic. So when I joined Symbolic had two teams. One was called Pikachu's and the other one was called Unicorns, I think. But then they changed the name to something ridiculous like Chonkers. But then the two groups kind of like split apart. So Valen, who was leading the Pikachu's part of Symbolic, took it away and made it Stress Tested by itself. So yeah, it's been a while, I think, since any endgame guild ever had like two teams. Or sorry, not endgame. That's not the right word because there's a difference between that and score pushing. Yeah, like
endgame progression.
Yeah, exactly. Like when two score pushing teams had, or like one score pushing guild had two teams. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while.
The last time was MC with.
Oh god.
That's
an old guild.
Yeah,
name.
Mechanically Challenged. Yeah, I remember this shit. It was core. I don't know what do we call it back then? MC. What the fuck did we call it? It was like Core 1, Core 2, I think is what we called it. But before MC, it was Hodor with Team Fire and Team Ice, because Song of Fire and Ice. I remember that shit.
It had a. I know Hodor had quite a few teams, but that was before. That was before my PC time, so that was just when I was a little console noob.
Yeah, well, the second team was stuck in AA for about 8 months trying to get a world record. So.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because we were there too. And that was the first time I actually interacted with somebody from PCU. Because back then we were all on TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
Not Discord, so no one knew anyone from any other platform. We had like ambassadors, not ambassadors, but like, like some people who would go to the other side and come back with somebody, or like, you know what I mean? Like make friends, but no one really knew each other. Even on the same server, we didn't know each other, to be honest.
Yeah, there weren't many people that went between servers at all, really.
People, well, obviously because of like your Discord and previously before that TRE, I think everyone started becoming a lot more aware of each other.
Yeah, that was messy. We can talk about that in a bit. Oh shit.
Yeah, all the records got put in one place, and so did all the toxicity. It was lovely.
Yeah, we can talk about that a lot too. But first, might I say something, Lulu?
Yes.
Ooh.
This is the first time I'm seeing you. And
Is
I
it?
think, yeah,
He's
like
very handsome, isn't he, with his IKEA
that's
pot
exactly
plant
what I was
and
gonna
his
say.
chair.
I'm like, this motherfucker is actually handsome.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing in
appreciate
ESO?
He
You
looks
could,
like
you could make
a-
it in the real world. Man.
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I should. Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I
you're fucking
mean,
handsome. Like objectively, I'm not being fucking rude or like facetious. I'm saying you're objectively fucking handsome. You know.
oh, thank you. But actually, it's an interesting point that you raised, Ollie. Even that isn't even as a joke, but this is like when you say about making it in the real world kind of thing.
Yeah.
One thing about end game like score pushing is it takes a lot of your time. So it is almost like I have a 9 to 5, and then like my evening is spent like basically either looking at logs or VODs, or we actually have a raid, like discussing setups with the team, that kind of thing. So it is literally like another part-time job. It's pretty intense.
It's like an extra 15, 20 hours a week, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sounds about right for a score.
Well, I mean, ST raids 4 times a week for 3 hours, so that's 12 hours. That's 12 hours raiding straight away, and that doesn't include the rest of the time. Like me, Valen, and the rest of the core guys are like discussing setups and that sort of thing. And as Hyper picks out arguing with Charles as well, that takes probably another 12 hours.
Mm.
Oh wow.
But yeah, handsome. When I first saw, it, I was like, "Is this motherfucker like one of those esports cover motherfuckers like from like Overwatch and shit?" You know what I mean? They have like they have like those fucking professional fucking headshots. You know what I mean? I was like, "Damn, what the fuck?"
I have streamed face cam on like when I've streamed raids before. I have used face cam, so that just goes to show you not an avid follower in FS.
What do you mean?
Wow.
Disappoint, like as in like when I
Every
when I
time,
stream
every
on
time I tune
Twitch-
into your stream, it's always that fucking anime picture and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, in fairness, I haven't done it in a little while, mainly because every time I streamed with face cam, I'd go into a Discord and there'd be a new like emote in the Discord of me like with my head in my hands or like molding or something like that. So I kind of stopped doing that for a bit.
Ah,
Hmm.
who's bullying you? We'll tell them off.
Yeah, you can blame. There's quite a long list actually.
Yeah.
Probably Warfire, Alpa, Vatro, all the old raiders.
Yeah. But so well, I mean that brings us on to, do you think there's a problem with toxicity in end game raiding? Why do you think people think end game raiders are toxic or score pushers? Do you think there's something to that?
I'll let Lulu answer this
for it.
first.
I get why people think that, but to be honest, it's more. I would say it's more like it's not the score pushers necessarily. It's almost like the people kind of like they're doing end game content, but they're not score pushers. And I think what happens is it. And like I heard a little bit about your podcast the other day on console with Puppies and Defy. I think it's way worse on there, but it's when people like get this kind of like, I guess, self-righteousness about they've achieved this and therefore they know everything, and they kind of speak down to others, so to speak. But in my experience, and I try to be the same, just being as helpful as possible, and I think ESOU compared to what TRE was is a lot less toxic, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. I want to talk more about that, but before you get into that, I want to talk more about you. You know what I mean?
Okay. Oh
Like,
God, go on
what
then.
was your? Because everyone has their own story. Yes. When did you start raiding again? 17, 18?
I'm terrible with patches, but I can tell you what the meta was, and then maybe you can tell me
Okay,
what patch it
okay.
was.
This is fun. Okay.
So, my first VMOL clear on console, which I guess is probably when I guess I could say properly started raiding. I was playing Heavy Attack, Stam DK with Sunderflame and Morag Tong.
Yeah, Morrowind, 2017.
Yeah, so that'll be it. So that'll be like my first PvE content. Before that, I was quite an avid PvPer, actually. Like, I did a lot of PvP, which probably helped, actually. But yeah, so that was I guess you could say that was my first proper PvE content.
And was that on console or PC?
Yeah, console. Yeah, console.
And then when did you move from console?
Elsewhere PTS.
So 2018, yeah.
So when Sunspire came out, so I knew. This is a blast from the past. I don't know if anyone remembers the name. Seb Williams. He was in Hodor.
Yes, I remember Williams. Seb.
So Seb. I played with Seb on Xbox before he moved over, and then he kind of put in a good word for me for Symbolic, so I was trying out there, and then I wasn't actually in Symbolic for that long because Hodor got a spot as Karma was
raid leading.
Yeah, Karma was raid leading, but he quit at the time.
Yeah, and then Warfire took over, I think.
Yeah, he moved country. Yeah, so so I was in Karma's spot when he left.
Yeah. And then the rest is history.
Did you manage to get Godslayer with Hodor?
It's a bit of a...
What happened there, Lulu?
I might have been on holiday.
Oh, okay.
So...
What the fuck?
The day before they got it, I went on holiday. No, sorry. I raided the day before they got it, and we had 3 throws on Navi on that day. And none of them were me, by the way, I just want to point that out.
Who was it?
Who was it?
I think Seb was one. I think maybe Ron was one, and I'm not sure who the other one was. But I can remember that was the most nervous I've ever been playing a game, like by far. I was downstairs, like doing Portal, and it was literally a Vigor every 3rd skill rotation. Because it was obviously stamina then, so we were on blow bow.
Stam,
So yeah, that was. Yeah, that I remember if I'd had the heart rate monitor on then, it would have had some frightening numbers on it.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever get Godslayer?
I did, Ollie. I feel like this is a leading question, isn't it?
I'm just pointing out that everyone in the score pushing community has debts to pay to Olibo. That's
yes.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
So, because when I was in Hodor, I was playing on Necro, and Ollie asked me to fill, and I did the very cringe thing of saying, yeah, don't worry, I'll come fill, but I'm bringing my Stamblade, which was my main, instead of the Necro, which he kind of wanted me to bring. So yeah, I got it on my main as well, so yes.
Cool.
Doesn't bother me. I mean, it's
he says it Colossus
Like,
sometimes.
a good 40 seconds. Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, I mean, the time actually, like, when it first came out, I think everyone was really concerned about this, like, actually being able to do the speedrun.
Which is why we didn't bring Magicka.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world to make the score run when it first came out.
Oh yeah,
I think
remember.
particularly because of like the first Navintas clears were so slow as well, and it took people a while to kind of like the statue skipping thing. Not everyone was doing at the start, and yeah, there was a long fight. And Trash, to be honest, was not exactly dying that fast with Bobo setups, but it was safe. So
yeah.
And then Lockesties was also an issue for a lot of groups, because it's like, where do you play safe? Because it was all about time. It was definitely about time. Super stressful. I remember going for it.
And there were some horrendous desyncs, like the glacial fist from the Frost Atro was literally 360 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fixed now, but the portal when you come up on Navi, and when he's thrashing his head's not moving. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, I know some people who like even this patch in ST when we were score pushing Sunspire, they'd come up from portal, and they would literally say like they can't see the dragon for like 5 seconds. Like it just wouldn't spawn in.
Jesus.
Yeah.
On PC?
Oh, and then the sound thing as well. Do you remember, like if when the dragon roared, it just wouldn't stop.
Oh god, yeah, that was awful.
That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, quite a few little bugs, but you know, we made it.
We made it. We're through the other side, just about.
Yeah, I mean, game performance now is so much better than it's ever been. Like, particularly like FPS and stuff like that. It's really, really good.
In PvE, yeah.
Yeah. PvP, I don't know. I haven't touched it.
Zerodead it lags from about 5 PM till 1 AM.
Oof. That's not good.
Yeah. That's going to get fixed, allegedly.
I
keep my hopes up.
I think you are the first person we brought onto the podcast who is a score pusher, at least for PvE, right? Unless I'm forgetting someone. I mean, apart from me and.
There's not that many of us.
Yeah.
So
I think you're the first. Yeah. So let me. What made you go from, I guess, Godslayer to score pushing? Was that just a natural progression for you?
Yeah, I guess it kind of was like, to be honest, like before one of the reasons for me to switch from Xbox to PC was because I cared more about score pushing than getting like titles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I switched, my main goal was to basically to get in Hodor, because it was the easiest way to, not the easiest way, but like the group was so good that if I wanted to get world records, then that was the guild to be in.
Right.
So yeah, that was, yeah, I definitely just wanted to be in Hodor, and I don't know. I'm trying to think at what point I changed from like caring about titles to actual scores, but I'm pretty competitive, like as a person in general, and I guess scores is the most direct competitive thing in this game, apart from like which I haven't actually done, but like going for like a world first, you know, like when the new trial comes out, obviously that's like a competitive race as well.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, just as a competitive person, like the scores were always something that I really, I don't know, that I just cared more about them, and like having like, especially it's even nicer now, I think, like in your Discord where there's a world record channel and like we can post like community achievements and that kind of thing, and people get like recognition for it as well. I wish there was some more in-game recognition, which I guess we could talk about, but yeah, the scores, like having the world records is enough of well, at least at this moment it's enough to keep me playing and doing it.
Were you competitive as a child as well?
Yeah, very. I played
cry in PE when you got fouled.
Yeah, I played lots of sports when I was younger as well. So I played a lot of football, cricket as well. Nefas, I don't even know if you know what cricket is. But
No, I know what cricket is. Yeah.
It's like baseball, but
I know. I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun when you get into it. So I played a lot of that.
Okay.
I was never really a rugby fan. I like tennis as well. Tennis was pretty fun. So yeah, I played a lot of sports. So I was like, yeah, I was that kid who was a terrible loser at school as well.
Oh dear.
So I still am a terrible loser now, actually. Like that doesn't change. Like I don't like scores being taken and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a sore loser for sure.
It's good that you've channeled that energy into something productive. Well, not productive.
I was going to say I'm not sure productive is the right
Yeah, I was going
word.
to say productive. I mean, that depends on your definition.
But rather than like whining on those forums, you go and actually get some records and stuff.
Yeah,
which I think is the better way to do it.
And I think I would hope the majority of people who are score pushing, they're probably the same. So Like,
I don't know. I think a lot of people that are sore losers end up just whining about it.
yeah, I mean, and like it kind of, because there's such a power creep in every patch. Like at the start of the patch, it's all kind of like it's all pretty friendly, and everyone's like kind of congratulating each other. And it starts getting towards like the crunch end of the patch, like when there's not much time left to get scores, and everything's like a little bit more hostile. And I wouldn't go as far to say toxic, but like
competitive.
Yeah, it gets a little bit
Aggressively
more competitive.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I like it. So
Yeah.
No.
How do you feel about teams sharing players? Because I know for a long time, like, was it Hodor and Unchained Animals wouldn't share players? This was like back in TeamSpeak days, like 2017.
This was back in everyone's
2015.
I mean, it's kind of hard to. Well, I mean, I'll talk about the situation right now. So, on PCEU, there's two main, like, there's kind of two main score pushing groups, and then there's another group which kind of has like a combination of players from both. So we have Stress Tested and Unchained on PCEU at the moment, and then there's another group called Scorepushing, which has like kind of players from both. So obviously ST and UA raid 4 times a week, and there's only so many days in the week, right? So there's no shared members between ST and UA. But then, you know, all these guys are like friends still, so a lot of them play together in Scorepushing. So they just got VMO world record. But they rated a fair bit less. So like the sharing players thing is it's absolutely fine, but then I guess it's a bit of a sensitive subject at the moment, but like the sharing of like strats and logs and stuff, like particularly towards the end of a patch, like people try and be a little bit more hush about stuff. Like I know, for example, obviously in ST we're not kind of streaming at the moment, and we did have open logs and the logs are closed now. Unchained was like they never did the sort of streaming or shared logs as well.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about
so
that.
So it was always like a bit of a, you know, and personally I'm not bothered either way. The reason ST had open logs in the first place was because we felt as a group at the start of the patch that we wanted to give back to the community a little bit. So like we were able to give people really good templates for like Sunspire, and I think our Qkiie logs were open before that as well. So like it just gave people a little bit of an insight as to what we were doing. But like I say, now it kind of got more towards the crunch end of the patch. It's a bit more on lockdown.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have some shit to say about that.
Yeah, go on, you go.
Because I was reading people's comments when when this was brought up in the ESOU Discord. Like quite a few people's comments, and because people were like saying shit like, "Oh, UA is not sharing their logs. That's so detrimental for the community." I'm just like, just shut the fuck up. Like it's their decision. One group holding back logs or information has never like helped or affected whatever the fuck this concept of community is. I don't even know what the fuck that is. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, of course, and like
it's just
nonsense.
It's just people wanting the information. That's really it.
Yeah, and it's totally understandable why. And I mean, like I say, ST don't have open logs and streaming at the moment as well, so it's totally understandable why.
Well, I mean,
UA
the fact that you even released logs of a world record or whatever, to me, is more than enough. You know what I mean? I mean, that's unprecedented to a huge degree. Because back then, when we were score pushing, no one streamed, no one shared. You know, even like if we were sharing CMX, we were doing like trolley shit. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, here's the DPS numbers. You remember fucking MC going for world's first IR? They got world's first IR. You know, Fear trolled and just released this video where he's like shaking his camera everywhere around. You can't see what the fuck's going on. You know. Compared to that, these days it's like it's just so free. The information flow is so free. There's so much information, and
I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing you can't see in logs as well.
Right.
Like you can see ulti rotations. You can even see where people stand and where they move, like in the replays and all that kind of stuff. So it's like if you have logs, you know exactly what's happened in that run, which is great for other people. But if there's something that you've been experimenting with and like you think it's gaining a competitive advantage, then it makes sense to keep it quiet.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I just don't understand when people don't understand that. And then it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like they say you should share it. Why be competitive? But then they wouldn't have it if you weren't competitive.
Yeah.
This is such a weird double standard.
I don't think anyone's obliged to share their logs.
Exactly.
I think it does help the community. It is beneficial, I think, and I think it like grows the.
Is it though?
Community.
Most groups won't be able to emulate that shit. Most.
Well,
not if they don't see it. No.
No, I mean even if they do see it, you know what I mean. And they get the wrong ideas too, because they can't think for themselves for whatever stupid fucking reason.
Well, I would say that's probably the biggest thing, like, because the majority of us, so let's take ST for example, the majority of the strats and stuff we come up with, they're obviously based on like what people have done historically, but then based on the patch we'll like move a few things around, and like the class comp will be different, and like what alts people use and when will be slightly different. And that process actually takes quite a long time. So what happens is if the logs are public, you eliminate that progression period for another group if you were like competing against them. And that kind of, which is great, like even if the team's not score pushing, that's still like really good for, you know, like someone else. Like it really cuts out a lot of the thought process behind having to put like different setups and stuff together. But like you say, you obviously have to execute it still, which is the more difficult part.
Exactly.
But the coming up with the comp and the ideas and that kind of thing, it is time consuming. So yeah. And yeah, I see what Paco said in chat. Sunspire was a good example. So like, when we did the first Sunspire record this patch, it was like, it wasn't a good run. Like, sorry, it was a good run, but for us, we would say it wasn't a good run. And so I think the original time we did was 21:07. And then the most recent score we set was 19:36. So like you can see the difference from just the start of the patch to the end. But then there were other groups who historically didn't have that many like records, but were able to actually beat our score for a little bit. So obviously Unchained beat it with about a 20-minute run, but before that for a few days, or maybe it was about a week, there was another group on PCEU called Wipe on Reset, who I think, I'm not sure if they're a new group or, I mean, they've sort of obviously just started getting into score pushing, but they were obviously able to get a very good score at the time, with obviously the help and sort of information of the logs that we had public before. So obviously full credit to them, like they executed it really well. They had a really nice time, but it does help and give people a little kind of step to sort of help get there.
Yeah. But do you think that, I feel like the players in the score pushing groups share that information pretty freely anyway. Like, I know a lot of the strats that we get in Pathfinders are fed through to us from people that do like carry runs and play with some of the score pushers, and they say, oh, people are using this or whatever.
Well, it's also you have the experience and knowledge to understand it, but also figure it out, you know. At a certain point, it's funneled in such a narrow way that you can pretty much know what's going on in terms of at least comp and how, you know, can you burn this, stuff like that.
Yeah, experience is a big thing, and I think what that helps you do is, you know, people are really creative, and you know, they come up with an idea, but what experience does is it tells you, is this idea worth investing the time to try it to make it work? And sometimes, like, myself and Valen, we just have to turn around and say, no, we're not going to try that because we don't think it's worth the amount of effort and time that we're going to put in to get that result. And it doesn't please everyone. Like, people are like, we could gain some time doing this, but really we're going to end up losing progression time. And a patch isn't an infinite, like, you don't have an infinite number of raids in a patch, so you have to kind of make a decision whether you want to chase something which could be extra fast but with like a lot of extra risk and take more time, versus doing something which is tried and tested and that works.
Yeah. How do you feel about dropping players to fit a meta?
What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean,
like,
I know, for example, there's only like a handful of players in Pathfinders that would play a Necro. So if it went back to, like 7 Necro DD meta,
okay,
I think some of those players would not play Necro.
Nah,
and they would lose so much DPS that it would be probably like, you would be able to find like a dozen Necros that are better than them.
So when it comes to like score pushing teams, there's no issues like that, at least historically.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't fly. Like,
yeah,
you either play all classes and you play what you get told and you do it well,
yeah,
or that's it.
exactly.
And like I would
like sometimes you have 2 healers, sometimes you only have 1. So like, I feel like that's a little bit of a different skill set.
Yeah,
Healer to DD.
It's also attitude too.
Yeah,
Right.
so I was just gonna say, like, with the healer thing specifically, Ollie, ST's core is 9 DDs, 1 healer and 2 tanks. Like that is that's the core group. We don't have a second healer.
Yeah,
and I think the only place you need one now, well, okay, you need one. You need 2 in Asylum, but the front kite is not really he's not really a healer.
MKs and
DPS.
Yeah, it's a DPS. And Rockgrove, you kind of need. Rockgrove, you need 4 supports. So I don't necessarily think you have to have 2 healers on all the fights, but you probably need 4 supports throughout the trial. But we have people in our group who can do some healing, like if we need them to. So I know Charles can do healing. I know Flecky's done some healing before as well. So if it ever came to that, I think we're fine. But I think nowadays in score pushing, you really want to have 9 fully fledged DDs, I guess, rather than a healer who's trying to do DPS.
Yeah, I'd say it's also like mindset, like in regards to picking or playing what you want or need for score pushers. At least for me, it was about what we needed, like first and foremost. Like I fucking one patch with Mundus, I switched from like DK tank to Warden tank, and then I had to switch, the same raid, same group, I had to switch from that Warden tank to a Templar healer, then to a Warden healer, and then to a Sword Killer, and then I stuck with the Sword Killer. I mean, did I enjoy doing all the switching up and all that? No, but at the end of the day, it's about the team. That's the attitude I think most square pushers will have. And it's also like the high we chase is not the same as the high most groups chase these days. Most groups chase the high of getting that title for the first time, or maybe the second time, maybe, or helping a group, right? But the high of a score, getting a world record is like not the same. I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of, it's not just getting the content or even competing against people. It feels like you're competing against yourself a lot, more so than like other people sometimes. And then once you beat yourself because you beat the record or your previous best, it's like feels nice. It doesn't feel like, oh, finally we're done. You know, it feels like, well, unless it's like resetting AA for 38 times because we didn't use fucking barrier. But like, you know what I mean? But most of the time it feels, oh, wow. You know?
I did enjoy those streams.
Oh, lie. Fuck you.
In fairness, I think I was watching, I must have been watching Cabs.
Yeah.
And there must have been like 20 resets in a row where you didn't have that first, like the close pad on the Lightning Storm Intro. And after like after 10, it was like funny, and then it got to like 15. I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel kind of bad now. I was like, this is like, they don't know that we've just been barriering through this for the whole patch. So yeah, it was quite. I did have, or you had my sympathy at that point.
I think at one point we did bring up barrier, but like we were just like, you know what, let's just fucking gamble for it. And dude, by the 20-some, was it the 23rd, 24th reset?
One of those. Yeah.
Like I was maintaining DPSing, and I started slipping, man. Like it's just.
And the
I started messing up, and I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know if I can do another 10. You know.
I mean, I remember you eventually getting it after like that 23rd or 24th
yeah,
one.
And someone died.
And everyone was just in absolute hysterics that you finally got it and like not even playing properly anyway.
Jesus.
So yeah.
Yeah. But so is that the tactic now to barrier through it? Because I remember when Hodor was stuck in there, they were using like, well, infused weakening enchants and trying to get the damage as low as possible without having to use barriers. And they were gambling on those two like front pads as well.
I forget who did it first though, because I know in MC we did it back then. I don't know if we were first or someone else was. I
can't remember who came up.
Where was the EU?
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe one of the guys.
I have a video of it.
Maybe one of the guys who's watching in the chat who was around at the time can remind. But I think it was Hammer's idea, or at least in our group.
Mm-hmm.
In A at the time, I think it was Hammer's idea. I might be wrong though. But yeah, just going back to what you were saying about like people playing different classes, that kind of thing. Like so the supports are basically you get told what you play and what you wear, and you get told what to do because this is the best for damage. And that's it, and they just kind of have to do it. And so in ST I pick the roster for like if we start a new trial, I pick which DD's gone which class, and I will always try to cater to what people are best at, but I expect everyone to be able to do every role as well as the next person, basically. And I think we like at the minute this is probably. Yeah, I'd say in ST right now this is probably the best balance I've had in a group about who can play what. So it's really easy, and like, you know, if I put like if I put someone on support sets for a couple of trials, then I'll try to like let them go and be like full pass and in like the next one. But at the end of the day, I always always try and put people on the role that they're best at and that's best for the group. But you know, I do try and sort of mix things up. Like for example, obviously DK is meta right now, and if you play a Zen DK, you're not going to do anything different. You're just going to wear Zen. So I can put anyone in the group on Zen basically, and like I expect it to not have like any impact. So yeah, but I think the supports are the people who get kind of fucked over the most, because they are literally just like they are just, I guess, victims to whatever setups and stuff that we need as DDs, and they have to cater for us.
Yeah,
it's always been like that, pretty much.
I think that's part of the fun. Like how many different buffs can you provide while still doing a bit of healing and tanking or whatever.
Yeah, and then it's always like yeah, you're right. It's like, can you get max up times? Yes. Okay, now can you start doing a bit of damage, basically, as well? So like, it's how much damage can we squeeze out whilst not having any sacrifice to any uptimes.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think one of the problems with in-raid DPS right now being so high is the support sets are just way too good. Like every sort of short fight, which is the majority of fights in this game now, everyone has 100% Major Slayer, everyone has 100% Major Force, everyone has like 80+% in power, everyone can get like 100% PA now. Spalder is, well, it's not got smart targeting, but that was another buff.
Only hits like 4 people, but sure.
Yeah, but like buff up times they're just so high now. Like it's one of the biggest contributing factors to ridiculous DPS these days.
Yo, Nazare next patch.
That's not going live.
I don't think so, dude. I'm betting my fucking eyebrows on it. No fucking way, dude. There's no.
Oh, you're putting your eyebrows on it.
It makes no sense, dude. It just makes no sense to me.
You think I should put? I'll cut my. I'll shave my hair as well.
No, you're too handsome for that. You're too handsome for that. Don't do that shit.
Shave your legs or something.
Yeah, okay.
Shave
my legs.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Wait, hold on.
Let's stream it as well.
Let's backtrack a bit. Let's backtrack a bit back to, I guess, community or like toxicity. Let's talk about TRE.
Oh god.
Okay.
Here we go.
Because not a lot of newer raiders know about this shit, right? They don't understand what was going on.
Don't ruin their poor little mind.
They don't understand why some people, including myself, acted a certain way. Like, so TRE. How would you describe it? Because I would describe it as like the first meeting of everybody. You know what I mean? Like all the egos, all the guilds, all the players, all the drama, all the history, just colliding in one centralized location.
Yeah, it was a dick measuring contest.
Oh my god, yes,
is what it was.
At the time, to me, it was pretty funny. A
lot of it was
pretty funny, and a lot of it was toxic too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That shit was wild.
I think it promoted I think the reason why this kind of like, toxic elitist phrase even sort of came about, particularly in ESO, was solely because of that Discord. Like,
no, I don't know about that.
It's been around longer than that.
Yeah, I think it's been longer than that.
I wasn't really exposed to it then, but I mean, just that, like, as soon as I joined that Discord, it was like almost daily there was like people just chatting shit to each other for just absolutely no reason, and like some of it would be like friendly banter, and then other times it was like aggressive, like shit talking.
Someone would always push it too far. Like it would be people would be joking, and then someone.
Dude, I was 1vxing. I was 1vxing at one point. That's how bad it got. I was literally 1vxing the general chat.
Yeah.
And then like, oh my god, the drama people would like air publicly. I'm still in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many. I don't know how many members it had at the time, but it was pretty bit. Like at its biggest, It was
like 1,000 something.
No, it was more than that, wasn't it?
No, it was like 1,000.
Really? I thought it was.
It was somewhere between 1,400 and 1,600.
Okay. I'm sure it was more than that, but anyway, like it was incredibly active and incredibly toxic, as the name suggests.
I don't know. Like I think it was us trying to figure out at the same time, like what's going on too. Like our identities, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as someone who, I guess, when I joined was sort of like getting into score, like even on console at the time. I can't remember who invited me to actually. It must have been Seb that invited me, because what I wanted to do is go in there and like get useful information, like someone would do. Someone would do in ESOU nowadays. But then like This was literally the worst place to ask for information at all. Like
troll
was-
answers. And...
Yeah, troll answers more just like, "Are you fucking stupid?" kind of stuff. Like, go work it out for yourself. And also like people providing like just false information as well, which I think is pretty well moderated in the Discord that you've got now, particularly with like the like questions channel as well. That like the it's called faculty, isn't it? The tag. Yeah, the faculty guys can sort of like respond to, and just even having like, you know, if someone isn't in faculty but you know they've got like and it's not just these people, obviously other people are well informed as well, but like if someone from like stress tested, like with stress tested tag or UA tag or slowed grinders tag sort of like give a response, you can genuinely assume the information that they've provided is accurate as well, which is useful.
Yeah, it's moderated a lot better, and like you can trust the people with the tags, obviously, because they've been through some process.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I was gonna say compared to TRE, which was just not moderated whatsoever.
Absolutely
So,
yeah, it's not that it wasn't well moderated. It's just like, I don't know how to say it. I guess it wasn't well moderated, but like the way, like the mentality was completely different. Like in ESOU, it's like, yeah, how should I say it? I don't know how to fucking describe it. It's just like kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, man. It's just safe, trying to be safe.
Yeah.
TRE was kind of like, if you can't handle it, just get the fuck out. You know what I mean? It's like, don't be soft. That was it. That was like one of the things. Don't be soft. That's what we used to say all the time. Don't be soft. And accompanied by a lot of
toxic
other things.
Masculinity, right?
It wasn't masculinity.
Fascist.
It was just,
yeah.
I'm just saying some of the more toxic people in there were women.
They were quite.
I'm just gonna say that right there.
Bitchy ladies in there as well. As
I mean, I'm not, you know.
Males.
I mean, I was toxic. Other people were toxic. Everybody's toxic.
I don't think it was exclusive to any gender.
No.
It definitely was not.
It definitely was not. But you know, to me, it's like kind of an interesting progression kind of thing. Like at first, we're all isolated from each other. Then we met up and we started fucking punching the shit out of each other. And now we're kind of like, we kind of mellowed out, I think, overall, as not just a sort of concept of an endgame community, but also a score pusher. I think score pushers have mellowed out since that too, for sure. Like 100%.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because our values have also changed. Like back then, you can't even like. You had to be in the guild, right? You had to be a certain alliance, and then that changed to okay, you just have to be in the guild, and then that changed to you just have to be in the Discord. That changed to can you fill for us? And it's like no problem sharing rosters sometimes, or everything just changed, man.
I think as well, like one of the other things was like.
Are we waiting for like an owl?
Say that again?
Are we waiting for an owl?
An owl?
Yeah, from Hogwarts.
Everyone in England is like, waiting for our Hogwarts.
You're like looking out the window.
No. Why did you say owl? I was like, what the
fuck
is an owl?
What?
No, I'm just...
It's a bird.
Racist British.
No, I know what an owl is, but like I was thinking, why the fuck are you bringing up an owl?
Because you look out the fucking window like you're expecting a letter from Hogwarts. You're a wizard.
No.
You're a wizard, Lulu.
Nah, but I think another thing that's kind of changed as well, at least for me, like, I think passes used to mean a lot more than they do now. And the reason I say that is, I think fights are so ridiculously kind of short now that you press the same buttons in the same order basically every single
you're
time.
only pressing 12 buttons and it's over. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that kind of dick measuring contest was a lot to, like, as a DD it was very pass related, and I think that's kind of like mellowed out a little bit now. Like you can play the same, like press the same buttons in the same order in every single fight, and like one time you'll get like 10k higher and then you'll have like 15k less because I don't know, your whip didn't crit 5 times or something like that. So it's I think that's kind of mellowed out a little bit.
Yeah, I think everyone's and everything's mellowed out. And the worst ones who didn't mellow, they're not here anymore.
Because you're not all 15 anymore. Everyone's grown up a little bit, thankfully.
I guess. I feel like I've mellowed out. Hopefully.
Well.
No.
Don't know about that.
You don't think so? Shit.
No, you have. I mean, in fairness, I never had any toxic experience with you, so. Maybe I was one of the lucky ones.
Calling Nefes toxic.
Oh, bro.
It's very funny.
I probably was. I was. No, it's not probably. I was.
I think Mystic MMOs might have something else to say about that, though.
Oh my god, yeah.
Well, I don't know about other people, but like maybe other people subconsciously kind of like move towards not being too abrasive or too toxic or whatever the word means. And I think I was more conscious about it because it's like, what's my goal? Like, what's your goal essentially? Because to me, it was like the reason why we even made ESOU in the first place. Like, why do we always complain about raiders being the minority? You know what I mean? Every time something gets brought up, whether it's like a combat balance change or like the lack of incentives or anything, it's like, oh, they don't care about us. We're just like the 1%. It just pisses me off because it's like we don't do anything about that. Because that can change. That's something we can change on our end, in my opinion.
It's because you don't share logs, Nefes.
Fuck the logs. Who gives a shit about logs?
No, it's an attitude thing. Like, why would you want to be part of a group that are constantly like punching each other in the face?
Well, exactly.
It's better that
Like,
people are friendly with each other now. It's a
exactly.
community you want to be a part of, hopefully.
I haven't heard of any drama. You know what I mean? Have you? I mean, I don't know about PCU. I know of some drama that happens on PCNA, but compared to back then, in 2016, 2015, 2017, 2018, like if back then if like 2 people got involved, then their guilds got involved. But now it's like if 2 people get involved, then it's kind of their own thing, you know. So it's like I don't know about PCU.
I think
I can't think of anyone that's been kicked for a disciplinary in any guilds recently. Don't know.
Yeah, Lulu's fucking deep in thought. He's like, have
yeah,
I heard any drama?
I'm just figuring out how to explain the situation that I want to explain.
Okay. So
no,
there's
but
drama.
like I would say,
To use fake names.
yeah, I think at the moment, I wouldn't really say drama. I don't know that word anyway. But
Okay.
there's like I think. Between UA and ST, I'd say over the last couple of weeks, it's been like things were a little bit more tense. There was like, the conversation started in here. Like we sort of spoke about it a little bit earlier, but around the logs and copying strats and all that sort of nonsense. So, you know, I think between the 2 groups is a little bit tense, which is strange because everyone in the 2 groups is really good friends, but like I say, you know, when it gets competitive, things they sort of change ever so slightly, and you know, people are still friends from it, and you know, I don't think it's going to cause any long-term damage, but you know, people want to win, people want to have the scores, so it's it's a little bit more tense than normal, I would say.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine as long as it doesn't blow up and become nasty. It's okay to have a bit of tension, a bit of competitive.
Yeah, it's just competitive tension. It's whatever. Compared to back then, it's like when we're screw pushing against each other on NA or whatever, it'd just be like, or like trying to do something like outdo each other. It was just like trash talking, like completely unrestricted like trash talking, and even like I guess. You know, there was this one point where people would sometimes see each other in Mournhold, and I was there for one of these, alright? And then they would like fucking trade each other shit and like teabag them, blah blah, and start talking about their families and shit. You know, it was very unfriendly.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know, it's friendly-ish. Friendly. I'd say it's friendly. You know.
It's definitely, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. That's for sure. I mean, like even I have a good story about this actually.
Okay.
Cool.
So when now that I think about it, a lot of maybe it's me who's causing the problems. Anyway, there's
Okay.
when I left Symbolic for Hodor, obviously I hadn't been in Symbolic that long, and the leader at the time wasn't particularly pleased that I'd made that decision. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
And Hodor had a raid, and we really needed a fill, otherwise we're going to have to cancel. And I don't know whose idea this was. I'm going to blame Warfire for this, but it might have been Liko's idea as well. No, actually, it was definitely Warfire's idea. So he invited the leader of Symbolic at the time to come and fill for Hodor after I joined. So this is the first time I'd like played with him since I'd left.
Okay.
And all he did the whole raid was go on about Symbolic are faster in this trash by 2 seconds. Oh, we beat this ice boss time. Like, we beat this ice boss time by 5 seconds. When the reality of it was, yes, okay, maybe they had a 5 second faster fight, but at the time they were spending the whole raid resetting on Loki, and Hodor were doing like 3 or 4 clears a raid. And it was the most, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but just the way he just sort of came into was coming into the raids and literally just shit talking the times that Hodor were getting, even though Hodor were having like extra points in HP. I think we were using what's the Stam equivalent of Clockwork? I forgot the name of it.
Artaeum. Takeaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're using Artaeum food, like extra safe, like less DPS but extra safe strats. And he just kept going on about this Locusty's fight time. Yeah, okay, I've seen Warfire said it was him in the chat, so yes.
Yeah, well, I remember watching. I'm sure someone was like streaming or something, and they're literally just like every single beam phase they'd die and reset. Okay, great. Like 5 DDs would die every single beam phase on Loki, just because they weren't playing it safe at all.
Yeah, they had. There's a meme that still goes around endgame now, which is the 14k HP heroes. They literally, because the meta at the time on Stamcrow was you ran the pass food, and then you put like 20 points in HP.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly.
And what they were doing is, every raid, they were taking more and more points out of HP until they literally were playing with no points in HP, and they had 14k health on Loki, and they weren't even using barriers either because they wanted the extra horn.
Were they brawlers spamming at least?
No, it was Bone Shield actually.
What?
It was
tried using
shocking.
Meditate as well from Sijic.
The fuck? That's like a net.
Yeah, it was Meditate. They were trying all sorts of things.
That's not even a net gain. It's just like a net. You know what I mean? Like, we're net loss at worst.
Well,
in terms of damage.
I think what some people don't realize, and it's the same for score pushing now. Actually, is you can't get a title or you can't get a score if you don't have full vitality, and people forget about that very quickly. And they want a full send and they want a max DPS, but if you have a death, you're not going to get the score, or obviously the title if you're doing that. But it is like, when people ask me like, like who are the best players you play with and stuff like that, the first thing I think about is not who did the most damage. It's like who made the least mistakes and was like the most consistent person that I played with. Like, so. And obviously then like damage comes into it as well, and like the very best players were always like top damage and like never any mistakes. But people forget really quickly that getting one pass doesn't make up for the fact that you threw 3 other runs in the raid kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think that the best way to progress is to go with a safe strat and then gradually add in the more dangerous things rather than the other way around.
100%.
You're going to stress people out by, if they're just wiping every single raid, that's going to suck. They're going to lose motivation.
Yeah.
You want to get some successful clears in first.
Yeah, you need to have a foundation, 100%, and then you can make tweaks to increase DPS after that. Like, but yeah, if you go in full sending, then you're gonna come out in tears.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? I don't know if you were around for this one. I interviewed the top raid leads at the time and made it into a video, and one of them was Karma. Do you remember that?
I think I do remember that.
Okay, yeah. And I asked them all a bunch of questions about raid leading and stuff like and score pushing, blah blah blah. And one of the questions I asked Karma was, "Who is your favorite raider?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I forgot
Did
what
he
his
say
answer.
Lulu?
What did he say?
No, there's a meme about it in ESOU. It's still pinned somewhere in the general, I think. Because people started like changing their TeamSpeak names to like not Karma's favorite, or you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I remember this. No,
I think it was
Rings a
PK. I think he said PK or somebody else. I forget.
PK is one of my favorite raiders actually as well.
Mm-hmm. Is he still around?
He is, yeah.
I haven't heard of him in a while.
He has his own group called Role Players.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing VAS at the moment. They're very close to a 117k score, which I think his group's going for.
That's cool. Okay.
But yeah, he's sort of been, not so much anymore, but he was always doing like, I mentioned the kind of, we call them pug groups. They're not really pug groups, but like, in Asylum, he would come quite a lot of the time to do that with us. I'm not sure if he ever did AA with us.
Is
he did
still
Asylum
tanking?
quite a lot. And healing.
Oh, he's healing as well now.
Yeah, he
cool.
does both.
I mean, he did a lot of cloud rest. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of everything, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's I like raiding with PK.
Yeah. So I asked Karma, who's your favorite raider? Now I'm gonna ask you and Ollie, who are your favorite 2 raiders? I'll give you another slot, basically.
Oh god.
Yeah, 2 raiders, your favorite.
Do they have to be playing now?
Okay, how about this? Like 2 raiders. I mean, you didn't even have to play with them. You could like maybe look up to them or some shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't have to be playing now.
You can go first, Ollie. I need some time.
Oh, you need some time.
I'm gonna upset some people, and I'm gonna have some angry DMs afterwards.
Okay, so I really like playing with David, who's the tank we had in our dungeon group, because he's always open to using literally whatever you want him to wear. He always practices loads. He's like honest with his mistakes. He doesn't make that many mistakes, but when he does, he'll like explain why, and I don't know. He's got like the perfect attitude for it. Perfect attitude for tanking, I feel. Except he only plays DK. That's the only the only drawback is he only plays DK. But other than that, I feel like he's got the perfect attitude. Like, as a support player, you need to be open to wearing like 7 light and double dual wield or just whatever crazy build your team needs you to play. You need to be open to trying it out.
Got one more, Ollie.
One more. Fuck.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay. There's a player in Pathfinders, Tev. I don't know if you know him. He's a Turkish guy, but whenever there's a portal in a trial, he will do it. He's done like probably about 10 Godslayers in Portal. He went on the boat in Dawnbringer. Does portals in Rockgrove. Any support role you need him to do, he'll do it. Those are the players I like. Selfless players.
It's a good reason. I like that.
He's got good DPS as well, most of the time.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Okay, let's just thinking about who I want to upset. Okay, I'll go with 1.
Well, only 1, not 2.
No. As in, like, I'll name 1 at the start, and so Valen is probably one of my. He's the only person I would have as a GM now. I wouldn't play this game without him as GM.
Okay.
The reason is how invested he is into the success of the group is one of the main reasons why ST is doing, I personally think, very well at the moment. And he puts himself in uncomfortable positions, doing things that, you know, he doesn't always like to do, but it's really his kind of like his leadership, I guess, and the way that he just puts loads and loads of time into the game, outside of it, just to make sure we have things right. And I think having a good GM is so important to like a group's success. Like there's never been a great endgame score pushing team who didn't have a great GM. Like and like Karma was amazing, and I know this is a bit controversial, but for me, 4D would never have achieved what they did without the way RNC was for the majority of the time he was lead.
We can talk about that too.
I know it's a controversial one, but that's generally
we'll talk about that.
That's genuinely my belief. Like I don't think that
I knew you were gonna bring it up. I knew it when you were. I knew where you were going with this too. Like, should yeah.
So yeah, Valen, and then.
I also taught him how to play, by the way, so he owes me.
I know, that was amazing. I saw a clip of that. Every single raid we have with him now, we call him the disciple of Ollie. So there you go. You're now a hot topic in our raid group, Ollie. Don't worry, we keep reminding him.
In VMO, like it was like, you gonna bash the Hulk, Balancer? Okay, hang on. He's getting like really flustered. It was very sweet. He must have been about 13 or 14 at the time.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck between two on this one, but I'll probably say Warfire.
Good shout.
He probably. I was like, it was close between him and Liko for me, mainly because they were the two people who helped me the most, like to get to kind of the level that I'm playing at basically. And when I joined Hodor at the time. I wasn't a good enough DD to be in Hodor, that's for sure. Like, who
do you think booked that holiday? It was Outcast.
Yeah, I think Warfire and like special mention to Liko as well. They just like help me get better and point out flaws, and Warfire even still shit talks my gameplay to this day and tells me what I should be doing better. So yeah, keeps me on my toes, I guess.
Yeah. No, Warfire is definitely like really constructive and helpful. Like I know when we were doing our dungeon run, like there's some things that I just wasn't paying attention to at all. And
yeah,
Warfire would always be like, "Oh, have you tried using this? You've tried using that," and it was never toxic or anything. It was always like really supportive and constructive, which I think is something that a lot of endgame raiders could benefit from being more like.
I think he knew how to. Like for me, he was constructive when he needed to be, but also he was very critical because he knew that kind of like people take feedback differently in different ways, right?
Yeah.
So I'm quite okay with people being overly critical because, you know, I'm always trying to be the best player I can be, and him being like
motivates you,
yeah, like. A little while ago, there was me, Vatro, and Warfire. We were sort of the past Nightblades in a vast group, and we would all like, if we'd even beat each other by like a few hundred DPS, we'd be like on at each other, like, or like if their sphere damage was low, we'd be like absolutely ripping into them. So like, but that kind of like reminder and feedback, I guess, really worked for me, and I probably wouldn't like without that. I probably would have. Maybe not done as well as I think I have done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answers. Yeah.
What about you, Nefas? Who inspired you?
That's a tough question, man. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of people I looked to, and also still look to. You know what I mean? It's gotta be more than there's way more than two, for sure.
Two's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
picking any is hard, and like I didn't even mention any of the guys who are in like ST at this time, but loads of them are brilliant. Like Chillo, for example. I've never heard him he's been on MK Spalder on Necro, and he's a Sork main, and he's been on like that for our 2 main progs. And honestly, I don't hear a single complaint out of him at all. He's open to when he makes mistakes, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's loads of people I could have mentioned. There's loads of people.
If I had to choose 2, shit, man.
Got 2 of them right here.
Yeah, okay, sure, we'll go with that.
You let him cough out, Ollie.
I just want to hear him compliment us for half an hour.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
No, go on.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think of people you've raided with a lot.
I was thinking like more
Raided with a lot of
look to as like
Okay.
a source of inspiration. Well, if it okay, like there'd be different categories for this. Like, who I raided with, who I didn't raid with, but you know.
Your favorite raider who you've played with.
Oh, just I had to have play with them.
Yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't have picked anyone that I hadn't played with.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I don't know. I don't know
too
about that.
fangirly.
Why are you thinking Outcast? Is that what
Am I thinking Outcast? Wait, why are you laughing, Ollie? What the fuck?
I mean, that's sweet, but
What do you mean?
that's sweetly you love him.
What?
No.
What are you talking about? I mean, okay, so like Outcast? Sure, he could be one.
Yeah.
He could definitely be one.
I think he's probably that for a lot of people.
If like Outcasts paved the way for us, or for people like me. If there was no Outcast, it'd be like there'd be no
for sure
me or a content creator me. You know what I mean? It's like he's a guy who first showed, hey, maybe people are interested in raiding. We can popularize it or package it in a way it's digestible or more appealing. And the amount of work he did and still does is astronomical.
Yeah.
And I know this because I do a fraction of what they do. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of respect there.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Second person, I don't know. There's so many people I like.
That's tough.
Like, okay,
There's loads of great content creators out there.
If
I think what we want to know is someone that you've like raided with. And
okay.
Helped you get better at raiding.
All right, so the first person I would pick with that is I don't remember the name. That's no, I'm serious.
Someone you met in a random dungeon.
No.
Told you not to give up.
No. Okay, so a while ago, I wasn't a raider. I was a PvPer. But my guild, the social guild, I was GM of. We started trying to get into raiding or trials, and VSO was the hardest at the time because they scaled it to V16 from V14, I believe.
Yeah.
From V14 normal to V16 vet, quite a huge leap. And someone knew this guy who had experience there, and I cleared it on one of the top raid teams or whatever. He came in and he was so condescending, extremely condescending, like. And it was like humiliating. And I was like, I never want to feel so helpless. You know what I mean? Like, why would I, you know what I mean? It's fucked up because like you gotta ask them for the advice or for what's going on. There's no other choice. So you're helpless. And after that, I was like, fuck this. I want to get into raiding. You know what I mean? Because I want to learn more about it and actually, not do that shit. You know. Yeah, so that's the first person. I don't know who the fuck that was.
You don't even remember his name?
No.
It's such a monumental moment in your life and you can't even remember the bloke's name.
No.
That's poor.
That's how irrelevant he is.
Do you reckon he's still playing?
Probably not, dude.
He's out there somewhere proud of you, Nefas.
He's probably dog shit.
Watching right now.
Like, we probably outstripped him by far. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, so that's the first person. The second person would probably be like, oh man, played with. it's hard to try to remember who I DD'd with, or heal. Well, I guess heal. I feel like I've never had a complete healing partner. I've gone through so many healing partners. It's kind of insane. Ever since I was a healer main, I healed with Qkiie. I healed with Theo. I healed with that piece of shit Stevo. I healed with fucking B. I healed with Foxy. I healed with. It's just like, I don't know, man. There's so many. I don't know. I've never had a healing partner. But then I tanked with Wonder. All right, Wonder Nuts. You know Wonder?
Yes.
And it felt complete. So I would say second person, like in terms of synergy and shit, and like knowing that they're reliable, like knowing as a support player, knowing your partner is reliable is so much. It just gives you so much. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Because when if you don't know how if you can't trust your healer or your other tank or whatever, you try to compensate for it, and that affects your performance. But knowing that someone can like have their carry their own weight, and knowing like if something goes wrong, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like it's just so much. It's a huge weight off. I don't know. Maybe Ollie, you know more about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's got me thinking. Like, I feel like NA and EU are very different in this way, because I feel like on EU, synergy often comes down to what country you're from. Like, I remember when choosing people for portals in Cloud Rest, we'd put the 2 Hungarian guys together, we'd put the 2 Turkish guys together, we'd put like the 2 British guys together, and stuff like that, and they would always synergize better with each other. It's like it's so weird. But I'm wondering if do you get that in NA? Do you get like the 2 like rednecks together? 2 like basic white
No,
together?
I don't know about that. NA is not as diverse as EU. I played on both at this point, and it's like the diversity on EU is staggering compared to NA. It's just insane. I bet you guys have a lot of language barriers and cultural barriers, right?
A little bit, yeah.
But
Mediterraneans are always late to raids.
NA, it's
Tell all the Mediterraneans it starts 15 minutes earlier. If they're from like Italy, Spain, Portugal, Turkey, anywhere that borders the Mediterranean, they will be late. Whereas Northern Europeans are always on time.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Pro tip for you.
Okay, well,
Germans
NA
will never be late.
It's just large blocks. It's not like all these multiple blocks. It's like, okay, you got the Americans, done. You got Asians, done. And then the Australians, done. Okay, and maybe you have South Americans, like Brazilian. There's a lot of Brazilian players. But you know what I mean? Like the North, it's just not as diverse.
Yeah, you have quite a few South American players, no? At least I think in Slodes there were quite a few.
There's Brazilian and Argentinian and just Latin American players. Yeah.
Fabs is South American as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously he's not really playing anymore, but yeah, I think there was quite a few. Yeah, I don't think I've ever met a Spanish person on ESO.
Oh, really?
What?
I don't think I've ever met a Spanish player.
What about isn't
Spanish? The guy who makes the Rock Grove add-on.
Bislobo?
Is he?
Yeah,
Bislobo is Spanish, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Portuguese. Bislobo's Portuguese.
Okay.
Oh, he's Portuguese? Oh, fuck me.
Just QSL, I think. There's a couple of PvPers that are Spanish.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just grateful that the majority of European countries speak English as a second language.
God,
Because otherwise I would be
We'd
screwed.
Yeah.
I've raided in French.
Bad.
I used to raid in French for like a couple of years.
I
the VMO progression in French. I even raid leader did it in French. That was interesting.
Yeah, I saw so Flecky, who's in Stress Tested, he was filling for he was filling a Stamina Dawnbringer prog. And it was an all-German group, and he's literally in this raid with absolutely no idea what they're saying the whole time. And I was thinking to myself, if I had to do this like on a consistent basis, it would be so awful, because you don't get any social side to it either.
Right.
So, which is a nice thing about ESO, I guess.
Yeah. I heard from some EU players that it tends to be very like each group, like each demographic sticks to their own quite a bit over there. Yeah. Like there's like entire German guilds or raid guilds that are German.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, and French.
Like,
French ones as well.
And it's like sometimes that causes issues with carries and shit. Apparently, or, I don't know. I don't know what the carry scene's like in the EU, but it sounds pretty diverse as well.
It's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty busy. The changes to the account-wide achievements next patch is going to be interesting for trifecta carries and stuff like that.
It's gonna ramp the prices up.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that. But it's normally pretty busy. Lots of trifecta carries, which obviously worth lots of gold. Actually, in fairness, compared to crown prices, they're not even really worth much gold anymore. It used to be really worth the time, but now it's a joke with the fact that crowns are like 3,000 to 1. So it's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah.
Let's go back to that controversial topic. Or you think it's controversial topic that you brought up?
RNC.
Oh, the RNC conversation.
Right, yeah, the raid lead shit. I agree with you. You know?
Yeah.
100% agree with you. But like... Okay, so I left 4D right before Grey War, so I have no idea what the fuck happened after that.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone can say what the fuck happened, except the people who were there, right? But obviously people are not very happy with RNC.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of it was because he was so focused on growing his channel, his stream as a business. So I can see conflicts with that, and also like how it overlaps with maybe some issues in the team.
Yeah.
But there was this what was that? Like that video somebody made. Did you watch that shit? It was in theory as well.
Yeah,
you remember that shit?
I got it linked to me. I saw it. I saw it a little bit before, because I got on quite well with a few of the NA guys, like Brennan and Rizolan, and Cabs as well. So I'd seen it a little bit before, and I'd seen it before, and then I watched the stream where he watched it himself for the first time.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he looked. I mean, anyone who's seen that video, if you saw that about yourself, I mean, he looked heartbroken about it, basically, which I get, because he had a way of doing things, and he had a personality type that not everyone got on with. But for a long time, he put a lot of work into that guild, and it's my belief that they wouldn't have achieved everything they did without him doing that. I mean, I'll be honest, they rolled us in Greymore. They rolled EU in Greymore. They raided a ridiculous amount, but they got their just rewards in the end, and they absolutely rolled EU in Greymore. And
how dare you? Pathfinder's got EU first Dawnbringer after just 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was a great achievement.
I mean, that's pretty bad. That fucking casual title farming guild is getting the EU first.
This is an opportunity to laugh at UA, so I will take it. But yeah, that was not their finest moments. But yeah, as I said, like, I mean, just from a score pushing scene, they completely took EU off the boards, I think.
Yeah, there was a couple of patches where there were no
I'm
EU.
not sure if they finished it in the in the patch after, but basically they took EU off the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's apart from Black Rose Prison, I think was like a console group or for EU guys.
Yeah, it was an Xbox group.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I think for the majority, obviously towards the end it got a bit toxic, but for the most part, I think he was an important part of why they did well.
Yeah. I agree with that assessment. Important part. Yeah.
And I think everyone's got the right to focus on whatever they want to focus on. If people want to focus on like their streaming or their career or whatever, then I don't think.
Yeah, but there were probably other shit going on. Like, I don't know. No one knows except the people who were there. But then the video, I watched the video and it was like, Well,
that
you
was
know, it was the
a-
typical shit you'd see in TRE or like, you know.
That was
they
a
usually
TRE
go
video.
that was a TRE video.
For anyone who doesn't know what TRE is but has seen that video, that's a TRE video. That's how that video basically sums up TRE.
Yeah, and I was like,
Mm.
okay, you know, whatever. But then, like, then there was this one part that bothered the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's like,
Yeah, there were a few parts that weren't great, to be honest. But
well, like, okay, like, it's like they brought up the thing with the video. I don't know who made the video, but the video brought up the fact that, you know, the Valkyrie rally. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And I was like, whoa, that's kind of unfair. You know what I mean? I get where that's coming from, but at the same time, it's that's kind of unfair because if you, I mean, everyone knew. So why you rate? You know, why you know what I mean? Like why you rate with them if it's like morally objectionable. That's the part that bothered me about that video. That's about it.
yeah.
To me, it's like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not really sure that video needed to be made in the first place at all. But yeah. So
Oh
no,
yeah,
I
exactly,
don't-
exactly. But I'm just saying, it's like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
of course, there was some.
It was just
bits that were
unfortunate
particularly
shit, in my opinion. But again, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, and I think you need a bit of, you know, like he did shout at people in raids and stuff like that, but you know, I'll be honest, and you know, I do the same thing in an ST raid if I think it's necessary, or Valen will do the same thing, but it's like
Every one of us has done it. Every raid lead,
I have not done that.
Who's-
I
okay,
just get
Ollie,
sarcastic and bitchy.
score pushers.
How dare
Every
you.
score pushing raid team has had a raid lead, without a doubt, that has yelled at the team
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
once. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At least once.
and I know like Karma used to do it as well. Wolfire used to do it when he was raid leading after.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who hasn't. I cannot name a single raid lead in the history of raid leads who has not shouted at
Yeah.
their team for score
Yes.
pushing. Like, obviously for other shit,
There's
like,
one on Yonaquin where someone died in the thing. That one was really funny.
Oh,
was
that
that?
was Chaos.
That was Chaos. Yeah.
Shouting at was it at Sammy?
I think so. That was really funny. That one. I've seen some Valencer ones as well. They're
Yeah.
funny. Out of context, they are terrifying. But it's, I mean, not like the whole 3 hours usually isn't getting shouted at. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, some people shout more than others. That's for sure.
but it's not like, it's usually not like malicious. It's more like, get your shit together.
It's
Come on,
because
let's
they
get the
want
fuck
you
this
to be
going.
better, and they know you can be better.
Yeah.
Kind of. Depends on the situation. There
Oh,
were
like-
times where I was like, "This isn't working out."
Yeah, I think the only reason, like, I don't shout at people for making a mistake. The thing I get annoyed about is porting in slowly, consistently, because
people
that's
being
really
late.
annoying.
Yeah,
Disrespectful.
yeah.
Or if I've like me or Valen has told someone to do something like a couple of times, and then you still don't
Yeah.
do it, then that really pisses me off because, like, I'm not raiding with children. I don't expect to have to
Mhm.
say things like multiple times. But that's about it. Like, I'll never shout at someone for making an honest mistake. I'll never, like, you know, we can get disappointed, but I'm not gonna shout at someone for making an honest mistake when clearly everyone in the group is a very good player and playing their best to try and achieve the same goal. So there's no benefit in shouting at someone for something like that.
Yeah. It should only be done to improve people's attitude. Tell them that being late isn't.
It's usually either
Isn't good.
attitude or focus.
Mm.
Usually one of the two. By focus, I mean, it's really obvious when people
Yeah.
are fucking around.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
they're fucking around, yeah. But I mean, if they're like making mistakes because they got stuff going on in their IRL, then I think you have to be a little bit like sympathetic. Like, don't shout at me because I made a mistake. My whole family's just died or something. I think you got to be a little bit sensitive sometimes.
I'm not sure why you'd be
shit.
raiding if that had just happened, but you know, each
Yeah.
their own.
I'm not gonna
Ollie,
lie.
don't turn around right now and say if that happened, you'd still fucking go to a raid in the evening. Come on, bro.
I mean, I've no comment.
No, let's not even go down that route. Let's not even go down that route.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, now that we've covered that subject, we should talk about. I think you wanted to talk about rewards and incentives, yeah.
I've been in a raid where someone's cat died during the raid. Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
What?
Someone's cat died?
During the raid.
Oh, during the raid. Huh.
It was kind of awkward. Anyway, carry on.
Right.
Yo, like, there have been weird shit like that for me. What's the weirdest shit that's happened to you during raids? Before we move on to the incentives and rewards. Okay, I have a lot. Maybe it's like an NA thing, you know? But like...
Oh, I raided with someone who took an extra break during the raid to put his kittens to sleep.
Like,
he'd go for like 10 minutes, like, oh, I need to go and put the kittens to sleep.
To sleep as in like...
I don't know, like...
Euthanize or...
No, like go and lock him in a room and turn the lights off.
Oh, okay, well that's not weird, that's not strange.
I
What the fuck? I thought they were like you.
I've got two that stand out, but one I wasn't there for because the person who so Clive was ages ago. This must have been over a year ago. Clive was supposed to be filling for me in like a VSO. It wasn't a score push. It was there was a guy called someone in the chat, or maybe Ollie will remember his name as well. There was a guy who used to do he used to sell crowns, and he had a ridiculous abundance of gold. And there was a period where he was doing like challenges. So for example, one of them was an 8-man VSS challenge, and basically you had to like get the best score you could with 8 people in Sunspire. And then the second one he did was VSO, but you can't heal someone else. So like the only heal you can have was a self heal. So there was this challenge going on. I couldn't go to the raid. Clive went. It got to the break and Clive fell asleep through the whole rest of the raid. So I was like, because Clive wasn't playing on EU at all at the time. I was like, guys, get Clive in. Like, he's really reliable. He's a good DD. Like, I know him. Get him in. And then there was a break and Clive just fell asleep in the middle of the raid. So that was good. And then the second one it's not really weird, but it was absolutely hilarious. Pebs came to an asylum. So Pebs is one of my favourite players I've played with on this game as well. I've known him since console. And Pebs came to an asylum raid, and he was so drunk that he couldn't actually he died so many times, like first jump, first kite, and then he was also missing the boss with his Colossus when it was like stood, like not even when it was jumping, like when it was literally on the ground. This fucking dragon has the biggest hitbox. It was so impressive that he was not even able to hit the boss. He was that pissed in the raid. So yeah, there are a couple that stand out for me.
Yeah. Oh, we used to have a Sork on AA. He'd never be able to hit the boss with his liquid lightning thing. It would always be on like the far side somehow.
Probably had the auto cast on and like looking all the way over there. Yeah. So we were raiding once, and someone went to the bathroom, but I guess they had like their headset mic still on.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
And the rest is history.
Who's walking to the bathroom with their headset on still?
I guess it was a wireless headset. I don't fucking know.
You can listen to the debrief whilst.
And then oh man, and then there was a guy who said, "Hey, I'll be right back. There's someone like shooting guns outside my house."
I mean, that wouldn't happen.
Shooting guns only in America.
Yeah. And then there was a bunch of other shit. Oh, God, it's a breakup. Oh my lord, dude, fuck me.
A breakup.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude. I don't know, man. I can't handle. I don't know. I can't handle that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess. I mean, no, it didn't happen like that. You said I fucking fell down the stairs during raid. No, I didn't.
Did you fall down the stairs during raid?
No. So, okay, this was recent, and I actually had a minor fracture. But so basically, Okay, so it was about 8:40ish p.m. Eastern, and we raid at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Mhm.
It was for Planesbreaker Prague, and I'm going down the stairs. Then, you know, next thing I remember, you know, I'm like, there's like, I don't know if I can describe this fucking stairs, but there's like a corner, and then so going down, there's a corner, and then to the left, it's another set of stairs. I wake up in the corner. I must have fallen.
Fuck.
All right, and I don't know how much time passed. Honestly, I'm just guesstimating. All right, so and then
Did you get to the raid on time?
Okay, that's okay. And the first thing I do is I check, the time,
Yeah.
right? Because the phone's next to me, and it's like 9:25 or some shit. And I panic, and like I just get this adrenaline rush, and I go down the stairs, and then I get on the computer, and then I start messaging people, "Hey, it's time for raid." And then,
Jesus.
after like the first few minutes, I feel a little groggy. You know what I mean? I don't know why. And then
Concussion.
I don't know. People, I don't know. But and then people start coming in Discord, but then I don't know. We didn't raid. Well, actually, we did raid. Did we raid? I don't fucking remember.
This I hate to break it to you, but this sounds like concussion.
It probably was. I think I was fine, just the manufacturer, and the scans were whatever, and that's it. Oh, I got off. Okay, we didn't raid. Never mind.
How long ago was this? Like
this
weeks
was Planesbreaker, so that's this past year.
Okay. God.
Yeah, and then a couple weeks after that, we got it. A few weeks? A couple weeks? I don't fucking remember. Maybe a month?
Are you gonna get? Is this the? Wait, have you got Planesbreaker in your Stam group yet?
Oh, dude. So my schedule is incredibly wild, so they replaced me.
Ah, such.
Oh.
How are they doing anyway?
I have no idea. See, doing even fine. The only problem with the Stam Planesbreaker is not it's Stam. It's just like the usual shit. Not blowing up people and bossing. That's it. Honestly.
Well, I guess that's a different topic as well. But ST are going to be playing Stam in Kinzagus again very soon. So going to give it a good test. We saw.
Who got the world first Stam Dawnbringer though? That's a good question.
I don't know because it's a relevant achievement I'm not keeping track
How
of.
dare you.
Nah, but that was good. Yeah, we saw, like I say, Flecky from ST was filling in a German group, and they're doing all Stam Dawnbringer, and their damage on bosses in particular is very high, and it's not a it's a good group, but there's like some of the buff up times and stuff like we do very differently in ST and something a little bit more organized. So I think Stam has really high potential in Kinds if the trash can go well.
We found the middle floor on last boss was a bit tricky, like getting AoE on the blob things. But maybe it's better now. I don't know.
I think Stam Cleave right now in a small radius is actually way higher than Mags, but it's just it's a much smaller AoE.
Yeah. That's why it was difficult on that red bit.
Yeah. Don't think that'll be a problem though.
Good.
I got some other funny stories about raiding, but not during the raid, but like before the raid. But we'll skip that.
Did you want to talk about
incentives
the incentive stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So I made the forum thread and the video talking about this shit because people are getting mad about the whole account-wide achievements or titles. I think it's honestly like people being mad about the titles is fucking silly. Because all this has done is just reveal that we literally had nothing. It's just like a fucking illusion, just taking away down. People are mad about it. It really is. Like, what? You know what I mean? about
I mean,
it. It's
like-
it's all like, I don't know. And then I can talk about this because I don't think this is covered under NDA in regards to like console raiders, but I'll just briefly talk about it. And then I told like I try to forward this thread to the devs. I'm like, we gotta. I mean, Ollie and Lulu, you're in there, right? And we need a consistent reward structure. There's like no fucking way. We're 10, dude. We're approaching 10 years. I've been playing this game since beta. That's like 8 or so years. We're approaching 10-year anniversary of ESOU, and we still don't have like this consistent reward structure at all. For endgame PvE, I don't care if it's for endgame PvE or endgame PvP or PvP in general, or even like accessible shit for like casual players to a degree.
Yeah.
So that's one of the issues.
Yeah, I don't know. For me personally, it doesn't like. Again, speaking about endgame stuff, in terms of rewards, like the titles and stuff don't really matter for us. I mean, for me, it's quite nice. My main's a Stanblade, and I have all trial achievements on my Necro, but I'm missing a couple on my main character, so it'd be quite nice to get those on there because I don't have an opportunity to. Like, I don't have an opportunity to play Stanblade wherever I want, or Nightblade in general. Like, so quite nice for me that I don't have to worry about whatever class I'm on, and I can still get the achievements. So I think it's quite a nice feature. But I think I'd really like something. I'd really like some sort of leaderboard reward or something like a bit of a better incentive for some score pushing. And the thing is because it's such a small population of people that they'd be kind of looking like as in that could potentially take like the rewards.
So you're saying it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're just the 1%. We're the minority. We'll never get anything. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not saying you complain.
I can understand.
But it's like
is what it is.
I'm not saying you complain. I'm just saying like here's the issue. How do we fix it? People never think about fixing it.
I mean, I think if there were better rewards, it might incentivize more people.
Before that, you know what I mean? Like, how do you convince them?
Okay, this is what I'm saying. If there were some good rewards, then maybe more people would want to do it.
Yeah, but like, at the same time, like, how do you? Because we always constantly say, oh, we're just a minority, like raiders or people who raid or do trials, right? So how do you change that? You know, if you can change the demographic,
I don't think
yes,
you can. Make it a majority. You
can't make it with majority. You can change the demographic, just even like 1 or 2%. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of people, supposedly.
I think it's by streaming endgame raids, score pushing raids, and sharing.
It's more than that. It's also like hands-on, hugging, teaching raids, hands-on.
I mean, we've got plenty of great content creators that sort of advertise.
Fuck the content creators.
Okay.
It's not enough for me or anyone else to make a video and be like, okay, here's the build, here's the guide, just do whatever. There's something that needs to be more in regards to like just trials themselves. You know what I mean?
People organizing trials on servers.
Yeah, but like also making it even more accessible than they are now. Because it's something that's like a lot of people come to me, and these people are like not score pushers, right? These people are kind of like trying to get into trials, and they're like looking at these progression guilds or even mid-tier rating guilds, and these fucking guilds have like the most stupid fucking expectations of them. And the most stupid standards that are more befitting of a endgame progression guild than it is a fucking for a V-Maul heart mode or a Rockgrove veteran. Yeah. It's fucking stupid. So I don't know, man. It's just it is what it is.
That dummy stuff is always absolute nonsense.
Oh yeah, like you can't do dual wield or like you can't use Parse food.
Or you gotta. I'm sure I saw in one Discord it was like no kilt or something like that.
Yes, no kilt.
What the fuck? Like you use kilt pretty much everywhere.
Exactly, but like it's just so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those kind of standards, like 90k plus you can come in, or whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. But it's always too high for what that group is trying to do, basically.
There is severe lack of endgame raid leans.
And even if you get like the good DDs, then usually like the healers and the tanks suck, so it's pointless anyway.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned something about you won't find new players for score pushing. I'm just like, fuck score pushing.
It didn't need to be score.
Here's the thing: score pushing's not the future right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of the future. It's part of the future, but that's not the entire future. Is what I mean.
I think, but like to get to the score pushing part, there's still a lot to come before that anyway.
Exactly.
And like people will find like a kind of ground where they want to stop, but even that like original population who are sort of getting into trials is probably not big enough, like you're saying.
Well, I don't know. I have plans to try to change this shit. You know what I mean? Starting this summer. If you can change the demographic, you can change a lot of things. I feel like, you know what I mean? If they see more people playing trials, and they'll see more reason to do something with trials.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one day you just got to kind of accept, okay, we're the minority, so what? And we gotta do something. But yeah, I agree with you. There should be something for leaderboards, Lulu.
Yeah.
And any idea we can say right now is a good idea, because there's nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
50 transmutes for the top team or something. I don't know.
Transmutes wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind some transmutes.
It pissed me the fuck off. I wanted to like punch a wall when I went to PTS to test with like a few other people what, like, you know, which activities give you how many transmutes. I was so pissed off when I found out that the weekly trial coffer was like 10 or some shit.
And a random normal is 10.
And yeah, it's like, and then it's like 5 for the completion. I'm just like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. It's not worth it.
It's a joke.
It is a joke. What the fuck is going on?
That is a joke. And I am so low. I don't know about. Well, actually, Ollie, you play quite a bit more PvP than me, but I am someone who logs in mostly to just raid for the most part.
Slide,
and, like,
yeah, whatever. My
time spent on the game is not necessarily in the game all the time. For someone who, like, I'm out of transmutes like all the time.
Oh,
like,
I got far too
literally
many.
all the time.
It's only because of PvP. Yeah, like the average PvE, they don't have enough at all. Like,
no,
especially if you've only got one character. I know David's always running out because he's only got the one character, so he can only do a random normal on one. That's it.
Yeah, and like I say, we're planning on doing Stam KA next, and I logged on earlier to like have a look at the gear that I've got, and I just thought to myself, shit, this is a lot of random normals that I'm gonna have to do because I do not have enough transmutes for this, like at all. But yeah, would be nice to get some 50 from a weekly would be good.
That'd be great. Instead of 5 from a weekly.
Even like
it's 5. Sorry,
30.
Chat corrected me. It's 5, not 10.
Yeah, 5.
You need to organize 11 other people for, you know, on the same day, same time for a raid for 5 transmutes. Not, you know, that's not even guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
because it's the weekly leaderboard, and then it's like, okay, you just surrender normal on one character for 10. It's like,
I do not know any groups that do the weekly every week. I can't think of any. I think you just, if you happen to be progressing that trial, then sure you'll get like a weekly coffer. But I don't think anyone actually goes for the weeklies. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, if we say in ST core chat, do people need transmutes? I don't think anyone has ever said, let's go do the weekly after the raid or something. Like,
I haven't heard anyone say, you know what, what's the weekly leader, like, what's the weekly trial?
Yeah,
I haven't heard anyone ask that since, let me check the fucking calendar real quick, 2015. That's 7 years, dude. Like,
it's crazy.
It's fucking crazy, dude. It's fucking crazy.
And I think they need to give like nice visual effects to the Planesbreaker mount. It has got no summon animation. It's got no sparkles.
What's your opinion on the current achievement rewards and cosmetics and stuff like that? The current incentives. Like, what do you think about the Godslayer mount? What do you think about the Planesbreaker mount? What do you
Okay,
think about
well, the Godslayer mount was kind of cool.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
one was kind of cool.
fine.
The Planesbreaker one is like I got the achievement and I couldn't even be bothered to go to do the other
the RP
achievements for the mount.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm just never going to use the mount. Like,
Really? You don't even have the mount?
no, I've got the achievement, but I haven't got the mount. So
Okay,
yeah.
so you just don't give a shit.
Well, the thing is as well is, and this is typically what happens with well, I think a lot of people, not just score pushers, I'm sure other endgame players as well, but like I go to carry runs and I make a load of gold and then I just buy crown crates and just try and get radiant apexes, and then I just run around on radiant apexes instead, because there's nothing else to spend the gold on, and like I don't want to use the Planesbreaker mount because I'd rather have some cool red cinch with like a spawning animation and like glowy aura and footprints on the ground than
that's gonna.
I don't even know what to describe, like something that's come out of Star Wars, like ugly thing. Yeah.
I want to sit AFK in Craglon, go and make a cup of tea, and then come back to 10 whispers saying, "What mount is that?" And you don't get that with the Planesbreaker one. I maybe get like one person a month saying, "What mount is that?"
Yeah.
Whereas Godslayer, you'd get like 2 or 3 a day.
People ask me a lot about the Planesbreaker mount. They're like, "Where do you get that?"
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I guess
that surprises me.
I mean, it's unique. The horns and shit, and the color patterns, like it's not something like on the Crown Store right now.
It's not
'Cause,
shiny.
you know why? Because the Crown, exactly, it's not shiny.
I mean, it's kind of obvious what people want, right? Like, they want shiny. They want like so Paco mentioned it in the chat, but like just like the particle effect stuff. Like it's just like I don't know. It just seems like it just seems like the way to go. The spawning animations are cool as well. Like the radiants that are in the current, I can't remember what the current crown crates are called, but they're really good. Like, I think they're really nice. Like, the Galaxy Ram thing is really nice. Yeah. I don't know. I like, maybe it's just me liking shiny and particle effect things.
What about the kinds of Aegis Memento? That's particle effects and
mementos are a joke.
I don't think
they're actually a joke.
you can't show it off all the time. So
yeah, that's true.
Someone would get like a costume could be cool, like an outfit.
A polymorph.
Polymorph, yeah, a polymorph is good. Like anything that you can have permanently on your character is better. Like even if it was like a weapon style or something, or like a unique weapon.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Like something that you can just always have on your character is much better than
weapon effects.
Like a memento or something.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, people would be repping their Alkosh weapons. You could only get it on Vet or something, wasn't it? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah,
well, Alkosh has. There's quite a few sets. Like quite a few of the Craglon sets have unique effects.
Yeah, kind of.
AY does. Two Fang Snake does. Alkosh does. What's the AA one? It's got a pink glowy effect. Is it IA? I think it might be.
Yeah, I think all of them have that sort of pinky purpley one.
Or is it Mending or is it IA? Oh, it's IA. Okay.
Both of them do.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes with that is some of them have really annoying sounds, like the False God sound. If you got False God on your front bar, every time you fucking bar swap.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Two Fang Snake as well, and AY actually. It's ASMR podcast now.
What the fuck are you doing?
There's the annoying sounds on the bar swap thing.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, some stuff like that would be, I think, much better.
Yeah. And the pets as well. Do you remember the Necrotic Horva pet? That was.
Oh yeah, ICP. Yeah.
But again, that's another example of something that you can always have. Like you can have it out all the time. Like everyone can always see it, which is so much better.
Except for Cyrodiil, but who cares?
What are you expecting from the new trial? There's a new trial coming out. It's confirmed now, obviously, this year.
Yeah.
For quarter 2, the chapter, High Isle.
Yeah.
It's pirate themed. It's Malmer pirates and shit.
I mean, I don't know if this is, I don't know if I'm in the minority with this, but I think Rockgrove's quite a good trial.
It is good,
to be honest.
I think every single role in Rockgrove has something to do. It's not like dummy hunting in Sunspire. Or
I mean, if you compare to Kind's Aegis for Sunspire, yeah, it's better, but I still think VSO is better than Rockgrove. In my opinion.
VSO?
Yeah, fucking VSO.
I mean, VSO.
Well,
again,
maybe before. Nah, not VSO.
It's too easy.
I've been raiding VSO
easy.
the last 2 days, and no, forget the difficulty because like, I mean, the boss is dying literally 20 seconds now, but the stink in trash is just it's shit, man. I don't know, I don't like it, but yeah, it's a unique mechanic, but I just. Yeah, that poison AoE
I still
is
think
just,
it's the best trial in the game. That's all.
I mean, yeah, I think it's nice to have mechanics for all of the players.
Yeah, and the VSO has that.
Yeah, kind of.
Wait, are you saying Rockgrove doesn't?
Okay, so Rockgrove places too much of a burden on specific rules. Too much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the newer DLC trials where, like, oftentimes there's not a good chance for recovery. You know what I mean? It kind of started with
Asylum.
Asylum, but also kind of like Cloud Rest, and also to an extent some parts of VHA.
Yeah.
It's just
Cloud Rest, yeah. Cloud Rest had that anti-recovery kind of, the shade spawning after someone died.
Mm-hmm.
That was that was a pain in the arse, and you're progging that for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Rockgrove is challenging. I think.
Yeah.
And the faster you want to go, like the more pressure you end up putting on the supports. Like particularly on, I don't tank, so
Base.
I can't comment too much. Yeah, but Base is an interesting, like the score push strat versus the I want a planesbreaker strat is the amount of stress that is put on the off tank is like magnified by. 20 times basically.
Flesh Atronach.
Right, but that's again, it's like so much pressure on one roll over the others.
Yeah,
I don't like that. It's like everyone.
But I don't think you have to put that much pressure on. You can still recover.
Yeah.
From people dying.
And then I guess there's not too much pressure on individual DDs, to be honest.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's
I think the only
disproportionate.
I'm trying to think if there's any trials that actually. I think only the mini trials do that for DDs, no? I'm trying to think. In AS, like you have your own mechanics you have to deal with, and in Cloud Rest you have your own mechanics that are player targeted that you have to deal with and be responsible for. I'm trying to think if that's the case anywhere else actually.
VMOL.
Wait, what happens in VMOL?
Like color swap.
That mechanic.
Yeah, color swap. Meteor kiting, back room.
Meteor kiting.
I guess.
Well, this is. I mean,
from first boss.
Like it feels more equally distributed compared to like the more recent trials. Like Kind's Aegis, like it's like.
I think VMOL is the best trial they made.
Yeah, and maybe second best. Yeah.
This is kind of my. You saw my point that I mentioned in Council of Raiders the other day. Is I would love for us to actually have to do the mechanics in that trial again. But from a score push perspective,
I said this to Finn, and he said, "Oh, just only put 300 champion points in, and then it's fine." Which I guess could do.
Oh, you brought that shit up to Finn, right, Lulu? I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, I understand where you're coming from because I've thought about it quite a lot, but then like I thought about it, it's like this sounds fucking elitist, but the majority of players cannot still do that content from 6 years ago. You know what I mean? So
I get that, but I'm not like my point was to not. I'm not saying upscale the veteran mode.
Oh, add a new difficulty?
Make an extra one.
Yeah, I'm saying give us like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a toxic elitist mode or something like that, where
Toxically this mode.
I mean, like
where the bosses have 3, like, I mean, literally, the damage difference from now to when it first came out, what are we at, like, maybe
12, 13.
4 times that DPS, 5 times that DPS?
Yeah, I remember like
not more.
40k was really good. 30k was good as well.
Yeah, and I know this is toggle nonsense, but like the guys in Scorepushing are doing well over 200k single target on the first boss. Like it's just it's sad, to be honest. And like pad 2 nukes and stuff like that, like people don't even know what, like pad 5 was actually quite
Beam
a hard
phase?
pad to survive
What's the
on.
beam
Yes,
phase?
yes.
And yeah, and like the whole, yeah, just there were so many good unique mechanics in that trial, which, and it's not just the top score pushing guilds. I'm sure a lot of good competent guilds that go to VMOL now don't see these mechanics, like they just don't see half the mechanics.
Even Prague
They
guilds
don't need
see
2
that shit.
DK chainers on the second boss.
It's
to chain in, like,
crazy,
the 8
dude.
fucking
Because our first VMOL hard mode clear was lunar phase, post lunar phase.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And now Prague guilds users are like, oh, you know, pad 5 or pad 7. It's
Yeah.
like, bruh. You know what I mean? Oh man. I agree with you. Maybe there should be something more, but at the same time, I think the priority would be something in between normal and vet. Maybe. You don't agree?
Yeah.
You don't agree? That's fine. Yeah.
It's not that I don't agree. It's just disappointing for me and the people who I would play the game with. But obviously, they're not making the game. They're making the game for, you know, the wider population.
Right.
But I mean, I just like I love that trial, and it would be cool to actually have to
I get it.
do the mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe
I think
it's
the
a tough
difficulties
question.
of normal and vet are fine, but I think it's just that the overland doesn't teach you how to play the game properly.
It's a
It
tough
doesn't
question.
teach you how to attack weaving or anything like that.
Because a lot of people tell me I want a mode between normal and vet. A lot.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like I'm conflicted because I understand kind of where they're coming from. Because if you do compare them side by side, normal and vet, it is quite a leap to a newer player or a newer raider, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm just thinking to myself like, shut the fuck up and get good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's just like,
I feel like I do feel like it's the game that's failed them, at not
it's like
allowing.
I
them
don't
to
know, man. It's just
play it better.
I agree with Ollie. I think this game is horrible at teaching people how to play it properly.
But that's the
Like-
thing. That's why people want a transition point. But that's complicated because it's like, where is that transition point supposed to be? Is it overland? Is it dungeons? Is
Yeah.
it what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a tough question, man.
I feel like it has to be overland because you can just run into a pack of mobs and go AFK for 10 minutes and you'll still be alive when you come back. There's no feeling of danger. You don't have to like practice anything. You can just spam one button and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be super complicated, but just teaching people to play a little bit of something.
You think
And-
in the? Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, and maybe you can answer because I don't know the answer to this question. But
Okay.
the difference between normal and vet, is that bigger than someone who does vet and then goes to vet hard mode? Does that make sense, or have I?
It depends on the trial.
It depends on. Yeah, it definitely depends on.
I think the newer trials, the jump from vet to vet hard mode
is
is
huge.
really big.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. It's
So is it? Do people feel that way about normal to vet?
that's a good question. But then, how do you ask that question to those people who've never gone from
Well,
vet to
what
vet
I'm
hard mode?
The reason I asked that is because obviously, like you mentioned, that people are asking for a mode between normal and vet, which suggests to me that they feel that gap is too big.
Yes.
So, you know,
We
maybe
did
they do
normal
feel
hard
like,
mode.
yeah, the normal to vet hard mode. Yeah, they'd be like,
No, they could be normal hard
Dude,
mode. Like
going
the
from
hard
normal
mode
to vet
mechanics
hard
don't-
mode is like
with the normal
probably
damage.
like so trippy as fuck, you know? Like,
yeah. And there was a copy pasta going around the other day about like score pushers who someone was fully convinced that they were actually like we're cheating and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
Actually have hacks. I don't know if I can find it somewhere. I'm sure. I'm sure someone will post it in the chat. But yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's PvE or PvP. Why are the shit people like always accusing the the people who've been playing this game for years and years of cheating? I don't fucking understand this mentality. It's like it doesn't matter if it's PvP or PvE. It's like what the fuck's going on here, man?
Yeah,
they don't want anyone to be better than them. Like,
I don't understand what's wrong with being bad or making mistakes. No, I don't.
It's more they can't comprehend how
it's okay to be bad.
Good.
What's not okay is not wanting to improve or desire. You know what I mean? Like it's just so fucking weird to me, man. But anyway.
Yeah. Tom just posted.
Okay, let's read this. Now,
that's not the full thing either.
That's
just a cut. That's just a cut of it.
Now the really crazy stuff. All their top PvE players run the cheats and openly post videos of doing things not even remotely possible legitimately. Don't believe me? Watch their videos. 15 seconds to kill NVMA boss with 90 plus K DPS. Would love to name and shame that guy. What the fuck? I don't know if anybody seriously buys this sort of stuff or it's just a contest for those who can play the best with cheats. Now, I don't get it. Like, why would people post videos of them cheating?
There are some. There's people like flying around in Zerodead.
The people who post videos of them cheating are people who are just like trying to go out with a bang, or like they're the sellers of that product typically.
Yeah, Kavik said it right. I think that guy needs some better cheats if it's taking him. If it's taking. The boss.
But like, that brings us to next point. You're quite a popular figure to be used in copy pastas as of late. There's a copy. Okay, there's a copy. Oh, let me.
Oh no, I'm worried about the spam in the chat now.
No. There's a copy pasta I found. I think it's an older one, but it conveys the idea here. I'm telling you, Lulu is as cracked as he is jacked. I saw him at a Lidl the other day buying Heineken and adult diapers. I asked him what the diapers were for, and he said, they contain my full power so I don't completely shit on these kids.
It's a good one. Yeah. It's a good one.
Oh, shit. And then, okay, there's another kind of pasta that originated during QuakeCon or after QuakeCon.
This is probably my favorite one.
Yeah,
I have to say, out of all of them, I think this is my favorite.
Who used abuse?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know the story of that? I think I told you during or after QuakeCon. Yeah, I told you.
I'm not really sure how it came about. I just saw it.
Okay, so this is fucking crazy to me. But I'm gonna. This is also a message to the people watching. You guys are fucking Benedict Arnolds, man. You guys are fucking traitors. You know what I mean? Like, I after the event, I found out that there were a lot of NA players who voted for EU, and a lot of EU players that voted for NA. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, okay, and then one of the people who voted for NA reached out to me, PM me during the lead up to the QuakeCon competition.
RNC told me he voted for EU.
RNC told me he told me like, oh, go fuck them up, go fuck the EU kids up. But anyway, like, there was this guy who PM'd me up, during the lead up to the QuakeCon competition. He's like sending me screenshots and videos and shit of Lulu or something, and then he's like, and that's the copy pasta he sent me.
Yeah.
Right, that's the guy. He legitimately believed you were cheating with Baylorg. And, swapping gear with Destro ulti going out at the same time. And I didn't respond. I was like, okay, whatever. And he's like, I hope you win.
The funny thing is about that is if this guy knows like, it was like watching any of your videos in that patch when you were running.
I know, that was like, bro, that was the patch.
You were in Berserk, right? I think it was Berserk.
It was Berserk. We were the ones who were. What's that fucking anime? That someone made.
I know what it is.
Overlord.
I know what you mean, but
it's like we're
buff.
Buffing up and shit for like 10,000 hours. You know what I mean? We're doing like, dude, Fatal Force was doing like 10 gear swaps for Zajhasa. All right, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing Stygian, he was doing all that shit. Like,
yeah.
And then like he messages me, and I'm just like, man, what does he think of me? You know what I mean? Because I'm pre-buffing, like I'm gear swapping like 4 or 5 times. for one fucking boss, or maybe you know what I mean. It's like...
I do want to say as well on that note, and shout out to everyone who's still using a controller on PC. If that was horrible on like playing with the control, I got like the controller in one hand, and I'm like staring at my keyboard, like looking at the different like keys at which I have to swap to like do all the other pre-buffs. It was probably one of the worst experiences I've had as a meta. It was absolutely terrible.
I remember. Oh god, what was that? Is it Unhallowed Grave? And we were getting the triple in that, and I remember like before every single thing where you have to like crossbow over to the next bit, you'd stop, like have to look at your controller.
Because the jump and the it was terrible,
in the
basically.
jump or something.
Like there's so many buttons that are like, because obviously there's not that many buttons on the controller itself. There's so many things that are like they do the same thing. So if I don't press like the synergy key like perfectly, like the Y and B at the same time, I just end up casting a random skill, whatever's on that button. So it struggles, but I shouldn't complain because it's my choice. But, yeah.
No, that was pretty funny. But yeah, you seem to be
a keyboard and mouse on controller on console. Is it possible?
No. I tried. I fucking tried. I was like, man, if I could play a mouse and keyboard on fucking Xbox or PlayStation, I'd be set. Because a lot of people, when I announced, hey, I'm gonna play ESO on console as well. People were like, dude, people are ruthless. People were like, I don't think you can come to console, or like, I don't think you can play on console because you don't have add-ons. How are you gonna play on console without add-ons? And then I'm like, I went over there, and it's like the lack of add-ons wasn't the issue. The fucking controller, I can't do it. I can barely. I had to like, dude, I don't know. I'm still struggling with it. You know what I mean? I had to even get a controller with back pedals and shit. It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Someone asked about latency, like controller latency issues, and like that is true, but if someone told you it makes them pass less, then they're giving you an excuse to they're giving you an excuse. It doesn't make you pass any less. So
do you spam the buttons, or do you just tap them once?
If I play Templar and I have to cast jabs, I literally mash the shit out of the button. But everything else, I spam light attack, but I press the buttons once.
Okay.
Which is, I think a lot of people are light attack spammers.
Like mouse clicking motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think I double tap skills, to be honest.
That depends on, for me, that depends on class or the skills I'm using, or the spammable I'm using.
Oh yeah, if it's like a ground area.
Like if it's LE weapon, I don't spam.
Yeah.
Because you need to time that shit, or you're fucked. If it's like, like a force pull, whatever, it'll go through, regardless of what you're doing. Yeah, I think it depends.
Mm-hmm.
And Templar, well, the light weaving is kind of really awkward with the jabs, especially.
I literally I couldn't get it, like, because like I say, I don't like spamming the skill button, but I just thought, like, at this point it's just like it doesn't even matter if my light attack doesn't go through on Templar. Like I won't even like notice, as long as as long as my jabs go through as fast as possible, like, I'm not even going to lose any damage. So that's one where I do mash that button pretty hard.
Yeah. How many controllers have you broken through that?
Okay, so I was playing on Xbox Elite 2 controllers. So this is actually, I'm quite glad I get to say this on here, because I want other people to know. Do not buy an Xbox Elite Series 2. They are absolutely terrible. My left... hang on, wait. I've got my controller here. This is... I'm on an old Series 1 right now. This left bumper on my Series 2, I've not had one controller that survived more than 6 months. And they're £200 controllers. So, yeah, like... The bumper is terrible. Do not buy them. They're absolutely awful.
I got the Razor Wolverine. That seems that seems to be holding up well.
I got I was playing. I'm still using that for ESO, but when I play other games, I have a PlayStation controller. I have a I have a SCUF controller.
Okay.
But I haven't tried that for ESO yet. But yeah, those Xbox Elite controls. And LB is not even a button that I press very often when I play ESO. It's one skill on my front bar, which is normally, like if I'm on mag, it's normally like inner light or something like that. It's like a passive slot, which I don't really use. And you have to press that for your ultimate as well. And that's literally the only time I use it, basically. So it's like a passive slot, which I barely even touch, or like I will do on some classes, and my ultimate. And it still breaks every 6 months. So.
I broke a right click from tanking in VHOF.
Right. Oh, you just perma blocking.
For the shades, yeah. Unlike the first boss, yeah. And recently I broke the 5 button on my mouse in was grinding to 3600 CP because 5 was my spell symmetry.
Yeah.
To like suicide and reset.
Okay. Okay.
I broke
Makes
the 5.
sense. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever be switching to keyboard and mouse.
Right.
It'll take me too long.
Console life chose you.
It did indeed.
Well, do we have anything that we missed in talking about? We've covered rewards, incentives, controversies, drama, TRE, the origin story, incentives and rewards.
Most of it?
Score pushing.
Yeah.
We could get some questions from the chat.
Yeah, I think this is a good time for questions. Any questions for Lulu, or this is your time? Any question? Please don't ask. Is Magwarden viable?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Everything's viable.
Yeah. If you don't ask questions about.
Yeah. Do developers see messages in the feedback channel and usually Discord? And does he care about them? What? Which one? Yeah, they see most of it.
In the ESOU?
No, like we forward it.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we forward it.
Yeah, we obviously don't forward the stupid shit like a fucking fire. Fire your devs, and you know what I mean. Like, let's see.
If they're interesting, we'll forward
what
them.
is Lulu's hair routine? Daily hair routine. Okay, that's a fair question.
I actually don't have a hair routine. I just wash it every day. So that's.
I
know. Hang on, that's a
no
lie.
shampoo?
I do blow dry and brush it in the morning as well.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
What shampoo do you use? What conditioner?
I'm a Head and Shoulders man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What dandruff have you? Well, not anymore.
No. Just
Right.
It's good.
Never
had any problems.
When will I get a signed shirt? From who? From Lulu? From Ollie?
What kind of signed shirt?
Signed shirt.
No, yeah. How good is the ESOU shirt?
It's really good, especially when it's filled with the salt of NA. That's when it's really good.
Alright. Can I get an autograph? From who? Probably Lulu. What's a bug tank?
Paco is a bug tank.
What is Paco?
Paco is the tank in Stress
right.
Tested,
Yeah.
and he claims to have a significant amount of bugs. Like a bug taunt is a favourite one, where he claims he's taunted something, but it's not actually taunted because it's just bitten the head off a DD. So he's now known as a bug tank or insect panzer.
That's cute. Will you buy a good microphone at some point? What the fuck?
I think I have the same headset as you. Do I have the same headset as you?
Me?
No. Yeah. Have you got SteelSeries? SteelSeries one?
Arctis Wireless? Yeah, but I don't use the headset mic. I use a different mic. Yeah.
I don't think the mic's that bad on this one.
Yeah, you sound fine to me. When can random Dutchman off the street feel for ST again? It's time for part 2.
Wait, where's that one?
When can random Dutchman off the street feel for stress tested again? It's time for part 2.
Oh, okay. This is from Tom. Yeah. When we need a stranded Sork, then we'll let you know, Tom.
When's the last time you sped run Master Angler?
I don't actually have Master Angler.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Okay, how much are your weaving averages in content compared to parses? How do you lower them? To all of you guys. How much are my weaving averages
no idea
in content compared to parses? That depends on the content. Are you blocking? Do you have to roll dodge? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Are you on a fucking Stanblade Bobo setup in VAS Harmon and your snipe's not going off? Yeah, I don't know.
To be honest, I think this obsession with... I think there's an over-obsession with weaving averages. Like, in content, for the most part, it's not going to make any significant impact. How familiar you are with your rotation, how good your opening burst is, and how good you execute, like how well you line up the execute, particularly if you're playing on something like Nightblade, is way more important than a weaving average. So I would say don't worry about it too much, like as long as you're comfortable with the rotation, and like learn your rotation to the fight that you're playing. Like know how, like if you're doing Sunspire, like figure out how long your phases are for your group. Like, do you want to go on your back bar 3 times or twice or 4 times, like depending on how fast you are. Like all that kind of stuff is more important than the weaving averages. So yeah, don't worry about that.
I agree.
My god, I can't keep up with the chat now.
Do you think adding another mega server can encourage more players to join? What does that mean? Like an entirely different mega server? Like Oceania?
Like a different region?
Yeah, I mean, of course,
I feel like
probably.
Eastern Asia could probably do with one, because
Don't they have one?
No, they come to NA.
The thing is, like, I think if you're in Perth, then you play on EU, and if you're on the other half of Australia, you play on NA. And like the date line goes like through the middle as to which one's closer.
What's Ollie's hoodie?
Oh, this is made out of trees. Would you believe it?
What?
Yeah, it's made out of trees, and it's a company called 10 Tree.
What's the fabric made out of?
Like lyocell or something.
It's quite stretchy.
Yeah, it's made out of trees, and so everything you buy from them, every item, they plant 10 trees, and you can like track them. Mine are in Madagascar, I think. Give you like a little coin thing with a code on it.
What's your favorite in-game event? Honestly, the double drops and trials. Honestly.
Mine's Midget Mayhem.
Yours is Midget Mayhem, okay.
I love Midget Mayhem. Like, it's the only time I go into PvP. It's so funny. I just find out what the most broken thing is, and we just run around and... Like, last time I've done a few videos on my YouTube about it before. But last time I did it was the Harmony meta with, like, Colossus and Grave Robbers, and...
Yeah.
That's actually... I mean, there's a zero counterplay, like, whatsoever. Like, but it's quite fun... It's not fun being on the receiving end, but on the giving end, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, Midget Mayhem.
Yeah, I would say double trial drop events. Like, it's just a lot, and it promotes interest in raiding quite a bit. What's the easiest class and spec for someone who wants to get into raiding? The easiest class and spec.
I think this might.
Dragon Knight tanking. Dragon Knight tanking. Dragon Knight tanking. Straight up.
Oh, really?
Dragon Knight tanking.
Probably. If you want to be a DPS, then actually it might change. The meta might change now with the new set.
Oh,
but
it was change next patch.
It was always like Necromancer, like Magic Necromancer.
Yeah,
if you play like Catalyst Necro, then you're going to get into any team, and
everyone
no one wants to play it.
Everyone wants the Necro.
But everyone also needs tanks.
So, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
One of those two, for sure. Dragon Knight tank or Necro. Or Macro.
Yeah.
Is it easy to forgive your tank for a bad fog?
No, that's an unforgivable crime.
What's a bad fog?
No. You know on Captain Vrol, like when he casts the fog?
Oh!
So, bad fog is when your pass gets thrown because the bug tank keeps him in the fog. So, yeah, it's an unforgivable crime against humanity.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Oh wait, any tips for settings in ESO to help improve performance other than low graphic settings?
And reduce the amount of add-ons to only the really necessary ones. And turn on that. What's that thing? Not VSync. The new one they added.
No, not a laptop.
Yeah, no. What's the new one they added that increased everyone's FPS by like 70?
Multi-thread.
Oh, yeah,
Multi-thread,
multi-thread
yeah,
rendering, but also
Yeah.
Code has this add-on, right, too. That can control it better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I've got quite a good PC and my frame rate is quite high. But I would definitely say, just there's an add-on where I think it's called something's add-on list, and basically you can create like a preset of add-ons which are turned on or off depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I would say turn off as many of the add-ons that you don't need given what you're doing, and like make a preset of it, and then every time like you go do a trial, you can just load that setting. It's pretty useful.
We'll try and link it in the chat.
We'll take a few more questions. Do you think PvE crossplay will ever be a thing? Fuck no.
No.
Lulu, your face.
Nah.
Lulu's like,
It's not fair. It's just not fair for like.
It's
not
not
fair for
it's not
console
just,
people.
Yeah, it's not just that, but it's like, bro.
Plus, they get aim assist. You can't have aim assist.
Aim assist, dude.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
I
got
want
aim
aim assist
assist.
in VAS hardware right now. Honestly, on the fucking Jesus Christ.
That'd be great.
All right.
Yeah. In fairness, like VAS hard mode console could be. In theory, they shouldn't really have any disadvantages. In theory,
mini trials in general, in VCR and VAS hardware, I feel like it's
well,
really
VCR there's
great.
gear swapping because of the side trash.
If you're pushing for a score, right? But like, I mean, you can come pretty close, without the side trash.
Yeah.
Why do you hide your allies in certain trials? Is it recommended? Depends on the. Well, okay, so I was thinking of trying high group in VA's hard mode because, like, I don't know, man. I just want to try it and see what happens.
I have a pet hate for anyone who uses high group in Asylum.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna definitely try it now.
everywhere else, I'm okay with it. Like almost everywhere else, but honestly, I don't get it in Asylum because you're not even like.
But
you're not even like on top of each other. Like,
well, sometimes you are. Sometimes you are.
Compared to other trials, like how often are you actually stacked with your other DDs? Like, it's quite rare.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. But there you go. I like it in other trials. I really like it in Rockgrove. I think it's good in Rockgrove, especially on Barse. Helps you see the bomb curse AoEs, whatever you want to call them, a lot better. So yeah, I do like it in some trials.
Nice.
What's a set you wish was slightly better? Slightly better. The fuck.
There is one set I wish was slightly better.
Bossy.
No. It's a crafted set which gives you weapon damage in execute, but it's not enough weapon damage to make it worth it. I can't remember the name of it. I loved Diamond's Victory as well. I'm sad that got nerfed. It was a good set.
Okay.
Moon Dancer was fun. I enjoyed Moon Dancer.
Alright. Yeah.
Vatch Gladiator, that's the one.
Alright.
I wish that was good.
Last question, I guess.
Yes,
what was your favorite patch in PvE meta? Oh, shit, this is a tough one. Definitely not Hero Storm.
Well, yeah.
That was horrible.
Patch in PvE meta. Patch in PvE meta.
I think the first time I did Dramatic Destroy, which was probably like after Thieves Guild.
Patch and PvE meta. Patch. I think about
Paco says Deadlands. Wow, interesting.
Fuck, man. This is a hard one. Patch.
Mine was a pre-Elsewhere Stanblade stack. 8 Stanblades. It was so good. Just the sounds in Execute was just was perfect. And it was Old Bloodthirsty as well, which I really liked. So yeah.
Patch, dude. I can't think of a patch for some reason.
You have to combine like a good trial with like a good performance.
Well, I just like trying to think of a patch.
I enjoyed doing dual wield Templar in with Moondancer swords back in the day. That was fun.
I think it's easier for me to say the ones I hated, which was great. Which was great.
I'm just like I'm thinking so hard right now.
I thought Greymore was an absolute mess. Like Thracian plus everyone using a free spammable. Like it was just, yeah, that was. I don't know what was going through their brain. Like that spammable hit so much harder than everything else, and it was free, and everyone had 3k spell damage from one item. So yeah, I don't know what the thought process was there. There you go.
Nice. Good job.
PTS.
What?
That one test they did with the heavy attacks and light attacks.
Oh shit.
You remember that shit?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
The light attacks
The light
restore resources,
restore
and the heavy attacks do damage.
Oh my god, no, I know what you mean. That was a...
Oh shit. Dude, I like some ideas in there. Some, not all of them, obviously, but some. You know, like you move at full speed even if while you're heavy. That heavy attacking that shit's, you know, wasn't too bad. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of a patch, man.
They've had some bad ones.
I feel like all the patches are so. There weren't that many patches where it was balanced. I don't think any patch was balanced, to be honest.
Harrow Storm was probably the worst.
No, Harrowstorm was by far the
People
worst.
took raid breaks because it just didn't work.
Yeah, ST
quit.
disbanded. We were raiding at 9 AM UK on a Sunday. And the raid was only raidable for about the first hour. And then the lag, just the Michael Jackson like ads just literally moonwalking around. It was, yeah, for anyone
What a
who
time to be alive.
I would not wish that patch again on anyone. That was.
I would. Depends on the person.
No, I'm not sure anyone deserves that punishment.
No, I think some people do.
It was
for
bad.
Sure.
It was real
1000%.
bad.
They definitely do. Some people do. Okay, I thought of it. PvE patch of meta, Homestead. Or pre-Homestead.
Tell me, what was the meta in Homestead? I'm not good with patch names.
What trial was that?
This was so around 1 tam to Homestead. Like, so it's like the PvE meta, I think, was like by far the most balanced there. Because you had Stam and Mag. You had mixed comps for score pushing. You had mixed comps for, like, you know, like in general. You know, Homestead kind of took it a bit too far with the Maxworks, because that's when they buffed pets.
Yeah.
But like before that, it's like mixed comps, and then you could do Thunderflame and shit. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the reasoning for that shit
Thunderflame,
was.
Night
They took away Thunderflame and Night Mother's Gaze,
Mm-hmm.
That was really
but then they added
strange.
EC and MK, and you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
was really odd. Some of those sets coming back would be really nice.
Yeah. Well, I
Really
guess
nice
a
to
Stam
start.
BD could use Alkosh now and like get the same kind of results.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But it just, like, having the extra options is pretty nice. Like, I think you'd want to run. Like, how much was the unique pen from Night Mothers? Was it the same value as?
Night Mother's
It's like
about
5k. No?
No, it was about 3 point some K.
Oh, was it?
Thunderflame was also like around the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
range.
Mhm.
Then you stack that with. That was also the meta where Caltrips actually did damage
Yeah.
with poison injection, and
That
Wasn't
was
he-
that was the best rotation. Endless
Yeah.
Hail, Caltrops, Poison Injection, Bat Bar.
That
And
was-
Barb
yeah.
Trap as well originally.
mhm.
Well, not Barb Trap, it was Rearming Trap at the time.
And the best part was you still had mag DPS in there. That's
Yeah.
the best part. Like, you had mixed comms. Nowadays, when you bring up mixed comms, you get laughed at by like fucking.
It's
We
just
did-
the pen that's the issue, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the pen was the problem for the most part. I think you kind of want to go all in, or like
Mhm.
you want to bring Stam. I think you need to like,
There needs to be a Necro probably.
or a Nightblade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess we're boomers reminiscing at this point. I mean, we did reminisce a
It's getting
lot.
to that point, isn't
We
it?
did reminisce a lot. We
back in my
reminisce a lot
day.
about, you know, shit like TRE and shit. I mean, that's reminiscing. That's old, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were answering a question. That's what it was.
Yeah, we were done. I think we're done. Answering the question.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the podcast. Lulu,
Thanks for having me, guys.
thanks
Go
for
get some
coming.
sleep, Nefas. You've been
Alright.
streaming for
Very nice to
16
see you.
hours.
Very handsome. Ali. Hello.
Oh, cheers.
Charming. Alright, guys. I'm going to bounce.
Alright,
I'll
see you
catch you
later.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.